What is up, everybody? Welcome to Theocracy. I'm your host, Theo Snodgrass, comedian and podcaster out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Wherever you may be, thank you for making me a part of your day. Oh, man, dude. Okay, shit is popping off in Minneapolis, dude. I've been watching this. Okay, I do want to. Okay, I got to spend some time though today, guys. I know we want to talk about Minneapolis. I know we want to talk about ICE protests. I know we want to talk about that, and I feel you. And my sense intuitively is that that's what you guys want to talk about. However, I do have to spend some time on this Manosphere meetup. This you don't know. So that'll come like in the second hour of the show. I have to spend time on it because it's just too much of like what I cover happening at the same time for me to like not zoom in on. And I know a lot of people are talking about that, probably more than they should. And the takes are like very milk toast, but I spotted a couple of moments that are getting less attention that I want to highlight. So I know most of you don't care about the goings on of, Nick Fuentes and Clavicular and Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines. Most of you are adults with jobs. These things do not interest you. And I understand that. I get that. That's fine. We're going to talk about it anyway. It's going to happen. But first, we got to talk about the ICE stuff because that's crazy and that's incredibly captivating. And the fact that that's happening so much means that I have to spend time on it. I personally find it not, I don't know. I'm already a little bit bored with the topic. I think it's like, shit or get off the pot at this point. I don't think like it's like hysterical leftist acts hysterical. In other news, the sky is blue. The fact that we can't have fucking reasonable conversations about immigration and in the most prosperous and successful society that has ever existed in the history of mankind is a tragedy. Also, like it is true. Like I know this is like a politically safe thing to say right now, but there is something deeply weird going on with white women, and I want to know what it is. And I'm not like I don't even like shitting on them. My mother is a white woman, but like it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of truly unhinged videos that are emerging on social media, and some of that I think is algorithmically driven. Some of that is my blind spots, but it's not all just like people shrieking into their phones, which is alarming in its own right. It's also like the way that they're behaving in some of these street protests. It's not universally white, but there's all sorts of people who are out there in the street getting shot. I mean, shit, we played a video last show about this guy who was bragging that he got shot in the nuts and was going to lose one of his balls because he was like protesting ICE or whatever. So he got hit with one of those paintballs, which tough break, bro. Sorry about that. But like the fact that he was like bragging about it, displayed this like delusional leftist quality of like wanting to brag about how much they've sacrificed for the cause, like taken to the extreme. It's like a mini martyrdom almost. This is why they're so excited about getting shot is because they're like envisioning all the social capital they're going to get after they die, which is like insane. Again, this is how like psychotic religious zealots think about causes, right? In like terms of this is not like we're not like having like a normal conversation about policy. We're in this like hysterical world where they all think that they're in Harry Potter and that if you're like a reasonable person who thinks that a country has a right to determine who lives in it, then you're Voldemort. You're literally Voldemort. It's crazy that and it's driving people to do bizarre things, like just truly bizarre. And I don't want to put it all at the feet of the white women because I think that's kind of hack, but it's like that just seems to be what's going on. I don't know. Like, I call balls and strikes here on this channel. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get started with I just got some videos I want to get through. We'll see if we have time for the Manosphere thing at the end, but the ICE thing is like I think immediately pressing. So we'll cover that first. Let's show. There we go. There we go. There we go. There's the fucking chat. I couldn't see the chat. Okay. Sorry, guys. I couldn't see the chat. If you've been trying to chat, that's my bad. I haven't been able to see it up to this point. All right. Seems like the point of diminishing returns for social capital gets crossed upon death. Okay. Yeah, but you're thinking like a rational person, roguish nerd. It's like, this is what I'm saying. It's like, okay, this is like what motivates young Islamic men who want to blow themselves up for, for some kind of like religious whatever. Although in their minds, they're going to the afterlife. I think it must be like, I think with some of these leftists, they must be just so nihilistic and they feel useless and their life is like constant pain and they have no and they just don't feel like they're contributing to society in any way. And so if you feel useless and hopeless and powerless, then like sacrificing yourself, I guess it conveys some sense of like power. It's just weird, but their whole thing is like built on maximizing victimhood, because that translates to social capital and respect and power and all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like, oh, fuck, Toasty's here. What's up, girl? What's up, girl? Big shot celebrity streamer Toasty is in the chat. She was on Simcast with Chrissy Mayer the other day. So that's very cool. Make sure to go check out Toasty's content, friend of the channel. Sure, there'll be 72 versions. Whatever you say, buddy. Now put this vest on. Yeah, and it's like it does seem like it's exploiting, mentally ill, unhinged people. Shocking number of them are mothers or like married to men. Chad, if your wife wanted to go out and get shot by ICE, I assume you would stop her. You'd be like, no, let's not do that. Maybe let's do something else. Do you want to put a sign in the yard? We could put a sign in the yard. This is whatever you got to do, right? You wouldn't. Why are they? What's going on? And I understand some people believe that it's like literally like Nazi town out there. I understand there are people who believe that. Anyway, we're gonna get into the videos. This is just me. It's been 8 minutes. We've watched 0 videos. I'm just monologuing. I do want to get into the videos. It kind of makes this point, but just don't be hysterical. Just don't be hysterical. Like, just don't do that. Just sit the fuck down. Are we not saying no to women anymore? Is that are you guys not saying no to women? I say no to women all the time. Now, I am single, to be fair. I'm not married. Not married. So I haven't had the fear of God instilled in me. But I say no. Are we just not saying no to women anymore? Is that what's going on? Is that what's happening in this country? Sometimes you have to say no to stuff, right? Okay, chat's chiming in. I'd probably try to stop mine. That's good. That's good. That's good. Of course, I know your wife personally. She wouldn't be in the streets fucking with ICE anyway. Oh, shit. Alpha Omega. What's up, buddy? Friend of the show. Yeah, I'll just pull up some of these videos. Fuck it. This is just like... it's bizarre and disturbing and kind of upsetting. The way that this is, and this video is just like oddly racist too, which why I wanted to show it. It's like, imagine being like so anti-racism that you end up being racist all over again. Imagine that. This is my favorite thing. I'm just gonna let it play without any further setup. Go ahead.
Race trader? See, again, y'all are throwing race into all of this. Nobody's throwing race.
So she's yelling race traitor at a black ICE agent. Now, why that would... Here's the thing. So ICE is... Let's just break this down for a second. So ICE is Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, right? So they deal with immigrants. And black people are like literally like have been here since the founding of the country. So they don't have a homeland to go back to. Foundational Black Americans have been here literally since we were colonies. They've been here the entire time. They are definitionally not immigrants. But this woman is kind of like telling on herself a little bit. So she's like, no. I don't think about people in need. I think about people exclusively in their what color they are, specifically in the sense of the colors that I can differentiate from my own. I just lump all those people into one category. That's what I do. So literally, people are definitionally not immigrants. Definitionally, have been here since the founding of the country. A lot of black people could probably trace their lineage further back than like Irish people, Irish whites. You know, they've been here since the beginning of the country. So definitionally, nothing to do with immigrations and customs enforcement, unless you put people into categories based on superficial characteristics like what color they are. This is low IQ racism. Guys, on this channel, we only do high IQ racism. Okay? You want to know if we're going to be racist against a group, we're going to go a detailed history of that group's, ethnic identity going back thousands of years if necessary. That's the kind of racism we do here. Scientific, historical, fact-based, data-driven racism. This is low IQ racism. We don't like this. She says you profile people for how they look as she is proceeding to profile this black man for how he looks. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This is just retarded. This is just retarded. This isn't useful. This isn't like adding to the political discourse. This isn't making a strong case for women's suffrage. Okay? This is just retarded. This is just someone needs to come out and grab their wife and take her home and make sure that she has a snack. Like, if you want to get upset, that's fine. You can call somebody, go, write a strongly worded letter to City Hall or something. But like, this is retarded. This is not making anything better. We ask a lot of questions here. That way our solutions are final. Thanks, Rokish Nerd. I love my chat so much. I love my chat so much.
For how they look and how they speak without your mask on and without your shitty little Timu getup, your ass would be stopped by ICE.
Now, to be fair, I'm not 100% sure this is a white woman. She may be some kind of Latin. I don't know. I don't know what her deal is. So I may have unfairly cast aspersions on white women. This may just be, it may be that all women are awful and I focus too much on white women. That's my fault. That's me using low IQ racism. That's what that is. Sorry, I have to apologize. I always hold myself accountable to the audience. Go ahead.
Fucking know it. You guys tried to detain your own person. Yeah, that's not because you have the reading level of a fucking 8th grader, my dude. Come on.
Why are you? It's like, what the fuck are you talking to me like this for? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? By the way, these are the good non-racist people. These are the people who want us to believe that they're the good guys and that they're on the right side of history and they're not racist. And she's like, you're a garbage person because you're a race traitor, because you're locking up like Somalis and Mexicans as a foundational Black American, which means that I think you should have more ethnic solidarity with foreigners than you should with the native whites who live here, which is, by the way, a staggering admission. She is absolutely telling on herself right there that I see your people as different and distinct than mine, and that I only like your people as long as you act right. Which is just a fucking staggering admission. Like, if you take the logical extension of what she's actually saying here, it's just like gnarly. And here's a guy, by the way. So, by the way, you could not pick a stupider ethnic group to make this claim about, by the way. Black Americans have literally been here the whole time. Definitionally not. One of the few groups that can make the claim with absolute certainty that they are not immigrants is foundational Black Americans. That's one of the few groups that can claim because even if you want to say, oh, the Native Americans are the real Americans, and Black Americans didn't come here voluntarily. So that's the one group that is for sure not an immigrant. Everybody else can make some kind of claim. Even the natives came over on the Asiatic land bridge from China. The history of that's pretty sick, actually. But yeah, this is the one group you definitively cannot make this claim about. This is just, it's just, and so she's kind of telling on herself here. And so we always knew, like we always say, oh, hardy hard, the left is racist. But like for real though, they do put people into broad categories based on skin color. Like they have a very, very, very like, it's weird because on one side of their mouth, they'll be like, all people are the same and everybody's amazing and we're all equal. And then on the other side, they'll be like, diversity is our strength. And they'll make like they'll do like the opposite. So what you're supposed to do is make generalizations about groups and then treat every person you meet as an individual, because there are things that are broadly true about groups of humans. But there's a tremendous amount of individual variance among humans. So you got to treat every person you meet as an individual. But when you're thinking about things in terms of groups and in terms of population-wide numbers, then you can notice trends. But you still got to treat every person you meet as an individual, because they're going to embody some of those trends, but not others. And some of them will embody none of those trends. So but she's doing the opposite. She's badly analyzing trends based on her like white projection. Like Black people are good and agree with me because I'm a good non-racist person. And then she's taking that and putting it as a structure around this individual ICE officer who, by the way, who knows what his deal is? Like, he's probably just trying to help his guy. He's trying to keep, again, this is about foreigners. This is just like not about the thing she's making it about. She's making it some like righteous civil rights crusade. And he's like, I don't know, man. Who knows what his motivation is? Like, I don't know. He's probably just like, he needed a job and this was available. And maybe he wanted to serve his country. I don't know. Maybe he's like former law enforcement. Who fucking knows what this guy's deal is? You know, we don't know anything about him, actually. But she learned one thing about him and felt like she knew enough to call him a race traitor. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can tell she's 100% sure she's not going to get punched. Because she would never talk that wild if she thought there was a chance she might get punched. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say to a person. Like, even if you're like mad at him for like being ICE or whatever. That's a wild way to go about it. It's wild to just introduce race to the conversation. It's like, that's what I'm saying when I'm talking about low IQ. It's just like what color someone is just like a retarded heuristic to use to evaluate whether or not someone is like untrustworthy without knowing anything else about. Look, I'm not saying we can't broadly call ethnic groups untrustworthy. I think we can and should do that, but just like not based on, because people can be the same color and have a completely different ethnic history. Like there's more genetic diversity in sub-Saharan Africa than there is outside of sub-Saharan Africa. This is just like a retarded heuristic. And it's like inherently like America-centric. So it's just incredibly, paradoxically, anti-colonial theology is profoundly colonial in its perspective. Which is fun. Anyway, we've watched 33 seconds of this video and I've been talking for 20 minutes. So maybe let's just get through the video. This is what happens. I line up like 100 videos to show you guys and we get through 3 of them. And then I don't know why you guys put up with me. Go ahead. Let's see. That's the ICE officer could be some laid off HR dude. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, it would be. Bro, I think what might have happened is a lot of guys are just like unemployed right now. You know, that's a thing that I'm noticing. A lot of guys are having a hard time finding like good paying jobs. I think a lot of guys probably signed up for the check. And then I wonder how many of them became super based as a result of just experiencing this abuse from leftist protesters. It's just like, this is just like, we're just completely unable to have a rational conversation about immigration at this point in this country, which is just so fucking profoundly disappointing. Like, it's insanely disappointing that we can't just like have like a normal fucking adult conversation about immigration policy. And the local government, and this is, by the way, this is because the local government was such shitheels about this. And TikTok, I'm assuming, and there's lots of factors at play here, but the local government just were absolute shitheels about the whole thing, and that has made everything significantly worse. Just their refusal to cooperate has made all of the tension worse. And then of course there's all these, we talked about this on the show previously, there's a lot of forces that are deliberately trying to radicalize people against ICE and deliberately giving them bad legal advice to try to get them to interfere with ICE making arrests, and like framing it as we're at war, the Nazis are in our neighborhoods, and they're like literally just trying to regulate who lives in the country. Like Japan does this and nobody gets mad. I mean, they don't necessarily do ICE raids, but like they're very particular about who gets to move to Japan. They're very particular about that. So like, and then nobody gives a shit. By the way, that's why they have a high trust society there. You go to the Apple store in Japan, all the iPhones are just on the table. They're not locked up. You go, you walk by a bike rack in Japan, they leave the keys in the locks because they're just that confident that nobody's going to steal. And if somebody does steal, they drop the hammer on them quick. It would just be great if we could, man, I would love it if we lived in a high trust society like that. That'd be fucking awesome. But that becomes impossible when you let in a bunch of people who don't agree with your values. Like, I'm fine with letting in people who want to like come and play ball and play by the rules and agree with the values and all that stuff. Like, that's fucking sick. That's fucking sick, dude. But like, by the way, remember the thing that kicked all this off was that Nick Shirley video showing all of that Somali fraud. Let's not forget about this, that this woman these people are in her neighborhood. They're likely arresting people. A lot of the people they're arresting have already committed serious crimes that were non-immigration related. So she's out here like in the street, yelling racial epithets at this man to defend the honor of like murderers and child predators and Somali fraudsters. That's what's motivating her. It's like, what kind of like fucking backwards ass patriotism is this? Like, if you fucking thought about the logical implications of what you're saying for 2 seconds, and the answer is, of course, no. She's just bored and probably a little horny, a little sexually frustrated. You know, we pulled these up last week, all of the romance novels about like feminist protesters and ICE agents and stuff like that. I've pulled up those before. And you guys have also sent me a bunch of them, which I appreciate. Thank you. By the way, I do appreciate, send me anytime you have something for the show, send it to me. I always see it and I usually act on it. So please do send me stuff for the show. By the way, while we're pausing, Stream Elements tip jar, send money. Also, this Saturday, before I forget, on Touchgrass, I'm going to be interviewing an anti-feminist content creator. Her name is The Rational Female or something like that. I ran across her shit on Instagram. She's got some YouTube traction. Some of her videos is popping. And she's dropped some banger content. She's from UK. And she is, so I'm going to ask her about like feminism and TERFs and fucking immigration and all that shit that's going on in the UK. What she thinks about what's going on here. I'm going to ask her about all that shit. So we'll see what happens. I'll see what she wants to talk about too. Like, it seems like her issue is like mostly like feminism and stuff. So I don't know if she wants to like tie it to migration or not. She may not be at that point. But she thinks like feminism is the problem. And she's got some like based videos about it. So I'm going to have her on the show. We're going to see how that goes. So I'd appreciate it if you guys showed up for that. And please flood the chat with questions. As I want, it's not just like me talking to them. I also want to facilitate the conversation you guys want to see. All right, let's watch the rest of this video. I've been talking for 25 minutes and we've watched 30 seconds of video. Look at the stunned face on this man.
This idiot isn't going to learn. You working
shouting
for the
abuse at
fucking
him.
government? Like, you think that this is going to save you from everything that's going on in this world?
Whether you work for the government.
Hey, do you know what?
Yeah, he said it's a fucking job, bro. By the way, she has time in the middle of the day to be down here protesting. He's employed. He's employed. For real. Go ahead.
You have to work for ICE. Man who is out there racially profiling other people.
Okay, by the way, if you're enforcing, okay, I understand racial profiling is like frowned upon, but if you're enforcing immigration issues and you're not racially profiling, I'm gonna think you're retarded. Like if you're looking for people from a specific ethnic group that you know are in the country illegally and you're just stopping everybody because you don't want to be right, then I'm gonna think you're retarded. I'm gonna think you just don't have pattern recognition. Like that's like, yeah, of course. Of course you're gonna like look for people who are from the place that you're trying to kick people out from. You know? What do you mean racial profile? Yeah, if you're enforcing immigration and customs, then yeah, maybe you should look for people from certain countries. You think? Maybe? You can't just stop everybody. What the fuck are you talking about, you retarded cow? And again, she's saying this to a black guy, and they've been here the whole time. They've been here the whole time. They do not have a homeland to go back to. They've been here the whole time. Literally the one group that you can say definitively is not immigrants. And she's like, how dare you betray your own people? Subtly insinuating that, you know, whites are over here and you're in the other category with the foreigners. Like, I view you as a foreigner. She's communicating that she does fundamentally view him as a foreigner, whether she's aware of that distinction or not. Of course, she's also, you know, she's advancing the case that, you know, the Trump administration is like somehow white supremacist, and this is racially motivated instead of just like, you know, fraud motivated or like economically motivated or like price of housing motivated or you know, the counts in the electoral college or the count in the web. They've already so supposedly, this is true, I have not verified this independently, but supposedly they've already deported enough people from Minnesota that it's lost an electoral college point, supposedly, or it's which translates to losing a seat in the House of Representatives as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what people have started. But that was the point of like, this was stat padding. The point of like importing all these people to the states that they imported them was to increase their Democrat power and control. Like it was a very short-termist, stupid plan. Some people say that it's like deliberate to try to like weaken the character of the United States so that we can be passed by China and it'll cripple us so that to avoid World War III. That's what a lot of people are saying. I haven't connected all the dots on that yet, so don't look at me for that. You're gonna have to go to a conspiracy theory show for that. This is a comedy show. You don't. I haven't connected the dots on that. It's just something I read about. I have no fucking idea if that's true or not. This is what people say. Anyway, this woman is just like a disgusting hag. Let's see. I'd take the Japanese all day. They're nice people generally. Yeah, I think we would really benefit from a bunch of Japanese immigrants. Honestly, I think we should send all our white women over there and import a bunch of their Japanese women, because Japanese women are not fucking Japanese men and white women are not fucking us. So let's just send our like cantankerous bitches over there and bring in some of their like, you know, submissive breedable bitches over here. And we'll just do a swap. And I think that's going to be good for the culture too. I think that'll be good for the culture too. I think we'd get more based. I think we'd be more industrious. If American cars could learn a lot from Japanese cars, and Japanese cars is like a microcosm of how they just do everything. They're just ruthlessly efficient, reliable. Like that's everything in their society. It's like that. I think we would benefit tremendously from bringing in more Japanese people. Japanese people kick ass. Shout out to the Japanese, friend of the channel. What's up, Theo? Glad I could make it. Just another great individual. Happy to see you again. Friend of the channel. Just another great individual. Maybe the raises are the ones that make the most sense to employ as Border Patrol. Yeah, actually, yeah. If you're, yeah, theoretically we should be employing people who are good at racial profiling at the job that maybe requires the most racial profiling, like very sophisticated, high IQ, the studied racists who put a lot of time and energy into it. That's who's the best equipped for the job, theoretically. So it's like, what do you want them to do? Sit at home all day and post on Reddit? Or I guess Twitter now. Reddit is like a leftist shitheel website infested with feds. So I guess Twitter is where all the racists are. Hey, Iron Oxide is here, a friend of the channel. Let's see what we got here. She's just yelling.
Fucking Germany that I gotta carry my fucking passport with me. You guys gonna make me wear a fucking star like my ancestors?
Oh, it all makes sense now. Okay. Oh man.
Jewish.
Oh man, I promise I did not know that before I played this clip. I promised I did not know that. I promised I did not know that before I selected this clip. I did not watch the whole thing. That's my fault.
Fucking star like my ancestors?
Oh no.
I'm fucking Jewish.
Oh
and Latin
no.
American, and I have to deal with this
that is
shit.
bad look.
My ancestors were fucking murdered by Nazis, and now you guys are back doing it all over again. Fuck you. Fuck you. You know, I hope you
That's a crazy comparison.
You're a Nazi.
Read a fucking book.
Okay, so now sorry, by the way, that's my fault because I was throwing this at the feet of white women. That was my bad. I'm not gonna say who it is. I'm not gonna say that. That was my fault. I'm sorry to the white women that I was disparaging. I made some assumptions. That was my fault. I still think like white women are like acted up, but just like not in this particular clip. That's not the problem. Now, if we're tracking this woman here of unknown ethnic origin, because we can't run a Wikipedia early life check, is calling this black ICE officer a Nazi. So they're calling this black guy. We're calling this black guy a Nazi. That's what we're doing today. Again, because he's like just I promise I did not set that up. Oh Lord. Alpha Omega is a fellow noticer. Shout out to my noticers in the chat. I've been noticing a lot more noticers showing up in my chat, which I appreciate, but yeah, it's nice. I promise I did not set this up for that, but that was just fucking horrible. Like, I get what would okay, can I ask you, chat, like maybe think about this, those of you that can type out a response. What some of you are at work, so I get that, but like what would it take for you to like fucking do something like this where you pulled up beside like even just like a regular black guy, not even like a federal agent, but just like a regular black guy and like call him a Nazi and think you were the good guy? Like, even if a black guy was being like literally a Nazi, I wouldn't like trinket him that he was a Nazi, you know?
Hey. What did you just say? I can't hear you. I said, turn on the street. Say it louder.
Okay, by the way, setting everything else aside, I know we've been having a lot of fun with this clip, but when they're blowing whistles and doing air horns like that and making all that noise, they're raising the level of tension. And see how that guy's starting to step in front of the car? Okay, it doesn't take a lot. There's enough of them that they could theoretically surround this car. Okay, these situations can escalate really quickly because a mob has formed. And remember, a mob is 2 standard deviations stupider than a person. So one person, she was here by herself, she would not be saying all this. She might be thinking it, but she wouldn't be saying all this, right? Yeah, like this is mob behavior, and mobs can get out of control very quickly. Okay, so this is why the tensions are so high in Minneapolis right now, and why we keep having bad use of force incidents, or use of force incidents that bad is subjective, but I mean bad for optics. Like anytime you have somebody like getting injured, like that young lady with the beard who lost an eye, and that gentleman who lost one of his testicles, which god damn, was bragging about, although he seemed thrilled. So I don't think he was using it, to be fair. But they seem like, these people seem like losers to me. Like, it doesn't seem like something like winners are doing. It doesn't seem like people who are like, oh, my life is going super well and I'm happy with it. I don't think they're out here doing this. You know? And by the way, winners, losers, that's not like a poor thing. Like I know a lot of people who are just getting by, but are winners because they have, families that care about and depend on them, and they have a lot of responsibility and they have a lot of stuff to do. When I talk to like I'm Catholic, so I know a lot of people, a lot of men my age who have children, and in many cases multiple children. And when I talk to them about like people who are like online political activists or like protesters like this or whatever, their response is always the same. They're like, don't you have a fucking go start a fucking family? If you have enough time to do this, you have too much time. Go fill that time with some babies. And based, by the way, working on that, by the way, still single, ready to Pringle. So if you know anybody who's fertile, I will drop a load in them. So send them my way. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see. $10 says she's not even Jewish. Yeah, I bet you she's not actively practicing religious Jew. I think she's probably... This is probably, although she might be part of one of these like Jewish multicultural groups that have been active in Minneapolis during this time. So she might be part of that. This might be some kind of like organized activity. Again, we're assuming, let's not assume that all of this is, completely organic and just popped up, naturally. Like it may be that she's part of like some kind of larger group of people that just agreed to go out there today and just yell at people. I mean, she certainly is emboldened by the presence of the group. 12 beers and 4 Everclear. Yeah. They surround the car and get treated like GTA hookers post fun. Vroom. Yeah, dude, that's the thing is like, I don't like, okay, if you surround somebody's car and they drive off and people get like, that is very much your fault. Like that is very much on you. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you're surrounding somebody's car, if you're forming like an angry mob, they don't know, especially if it's federal agents, they don't know if you're trying to get in. They don't know if you're trying to get in. And remember, a mob is 2 standard deviations stupider than a person. So once a mob forms, they can do acts of violence. A mob will do acts of violence an individual person would never consider, because mobs have this effect of displacing responsibility. So people like, and by the way, this is a human trait. So this is, you could do this and I could do this. Okay. If we were in a mob and we got our blood up and we got sucked into groupthink and mob mentality, you and I are capable of horrible things. This is a human feature, not a bug. Right. And so when the mob surrounds the car, if those law enforcement officers decide they got to peel out of there, like, it is what it is, bro. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Like, don't fucking do stupid shit. Don't do stupid shit. Yeah. Also, like, why the confidence to antagonize a bunch of people with guns? Don't antagonize people with guns. Everywhere else in the world, every other point in history, if you were antagonizing a bunch of people with guns on purpose, you knew there was a chance you might get shot. It's crazy, the inability of these people to evaluate risk. On the one hand, they'll say, oh, these people are the literal Nazis and they're the evilest people who have ever existed and they're going to murder me. And then on the other hand, they'll like call them like a pussy at a race trader or whatever. Like with like, I guess, zero fear of being shot. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with us. Like that, the psychology of this is like a little bit beyond me. It's like, then it's going to have to be studied. Maybe there's somebody who knows more about it than I do, but this is just like peak retarded. Like, I don't understand what could possibly be motivating these people like this. Let's see. Jason's here, friend of the channel. What's up, buddy? These are theater kids who got shoved in lockers as kids who ratted you out for smoking in the bathroom in high school. Yeah, these are just, like I said, these are not happy, successful, well-adjusted people. These are people who think they deserve way more attention than they currently get for whatever reason. So theater kid's probably about right. Go ahead.
Founded laws on immigration. Like, it's simple. Like, that's it. Like, we can't argue that.
History of immigration.
We do.
Both. But again, I don't think you know all of the history of the immigration.
Because our country doesn't.
It's not about the history. It's about the laws. It's not about the history, it's about the laws. We are here to enforce.
When you go and detain people, show us everyone the judicial warrant, and then
Wow. Okay, so it's just like it's crazy. Like he's coming across as so much more reasonable than they are. Like, do they really think that they're coming off well in this interaction? You know, like I don't know. And again, people have just a lot of just terrible information about this. I don't know what the fuck is going on with these people. And then this I'm sure this woman's got something to say. I wish we could read her name tag. Know what organization she's here represent. You see how I'm saying, like, okay, they're wearing these. I think these people came out together. That's my theory, is that these people came out together. I just have a hard time believing that this just sprung up organically. Or maybe it's just the people who live in this neighborhood. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on here, gang.
we'll be like, okay, show us an official, legit judicial warrant, and then go ahead.
Absolutely go in if
But
you have the
don't fucking take people out of their houses for no fucking reason and fucking beat them up.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear.
That's why.
But you said something about a warrant, right?
Oh my God. He's being so much more patient and reasonable with these people than he has to be. Oh my God. Just horrible. Just horrible. By the way, this is another one. So there was a sit-in at Target. Oh my God, in Minneapolis. So Target is becoming like a flashpoint for this because apparently what's going on is that ICE agents are using Target parking lots for like meetup points. And I don't know, for some reason they were like, this is why they were like pestering. I guess Target's corporate headquarters is in Minneapolis. I don't know. Anyway, apparently like Target is like a central issue. So things people are, they're doing, in addition to doing a sit-in, what they did is they had a bunch of people go in there and buy salt and then return it. Because salt melts ice. Do you get it? And the point of like buying everything, all the salt and returning it was to just make it difficult to shop at Target that day. It was just like more annoying to use Target that day. And so basically what they did was just irritate and waste the time of a bunch of like retail workers. So that was what they did. And that was a project. And now they're doing this sit-in thing, which I have to wait. No, that's not it. Yeah, there we go. Wait. Let's do. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and see this. Now, I will say. We are one. We won't stop fighting. We won't stop fighting. The ice is gone. The ice is gone. Okay, now I will say this is a mostly white phenomenon. This is why other ethnic groups do not do things like this. It is only white people that are annoying in this exact way. This woman is just along for the ride. Like at Eric Cartman. That's mean. That's mean. That's mean. Let's see. Mobs have negative intelligence, stat modifier, mob mentality, -2 to agility, -2 to intelligence, -2 to perception, +1 strength. Come on, guys. They can't stop us all. Yeah, that's actually a really good way to break that down for the TNT nerds in the audience. Yeah, that's exactly right. They're just retarded, but they're like very, very bold. And it limits your inhibitions. No, oh no, this is a target. This is a target. This is a target they're doing this in. This is, I will say, like, this is like, I don't want to just like keep shitting on white women, but it is white women who do this for the most part. Other groups do not do things like this. It is white women that are annoying in this particular way. And this sort of like naggy, you know, pretentious old. That's a good question. Is this day old or is this right now? No, I think this is from a day or two ago. This is at least from yesterday. Yeah, this is dated the 19th. So it's a few days. So it's like 2 days old, which is actually kind of and this is in St. Paul. So this is not in Minneapolis. This is elsewhere in Minnesota. But this is just like the retardation is spreading. All right. I'm a white woman. Congratulations. Anyway, God, this is just deeply unpleasant. It's super annoying. Go ahead, Twitter.
Target says that their mission is to support the joy of everyday life for all families. Then do it.
Do it. Do it now.
Do it. Do it. Oh, God. Don't you just want to see them all get tear gassed? God, these people are just so fucking annoying. I don't know. What's crazy is like people are just, imagine being a resident of St. Paul, Minnesota, and wanting to shop at Target, and this is what you have to deal with. Because remember, this all started with a group chat. Someone was like, we have to do something. We have to make a stand. And the way they chose to make a stand was to make it more annoying to use Target that day. Look at this fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy. Bro, she's not going to fuck you. Go home. Go home. You don't have to do this. You do not have to do this. Yeah. You are stale. Ha. And you insult white women. Yes. I would think you were a longtime viewer. Both of those things are true.
I sit here not only as a mother or a grandmother, but I sit here as a great-granddaughter of an immigrant. And I sit here and I ask Target, you must stand with
They
us.
just want home field advantage at Target.
Discriminating. You must stop treating immigrants wrong. You must give them better wages. You must give them an opportunity to have housing. You must.
Why? Why do we have to give them better wages and an opportunity to have housing? Why do we have to do that? And why do we have to give them anything? Like, why can't they just have whatever they earn? And that they only be allowed to earn stuff if they come in the country legally. Like, why? I'm confused about what, again, it's like, why? I think she's just like naming random good things. I think she's just here for the vibes. I think it really feels good. I think all the white women are excited she's here because she's the one not white woman. You see how she's like at the center and everybody's listening so attentively? See how they're doing that? So she's like, they're like, oh, well, this is like women supporting women. We have to elevate the voices of women of color. This is like peak wokeness that's happening right now. By the way, this is the same process by which Kamala Harris was selected for the nominee. This is the same process, but it's happening in miniature. You can kind of see it. Anyway, and in similar results, her monologue is profoundly unimpressive.
Give them an opportunity to feed their children. I sit here because this is the right.
You can feed your children whenever you want. Just go home. It's like, imagine somebody like comes over to your house and tells you that you have to feed their children. And it's like, no, go home. This is my food. Go home. Anyway, this is just retarded. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty recent. So this was something that happened in a classroom. I'm not sure how. This is, I think, was posted yesterday. So this happened in a Minnesota classroom. It's a discussion between a teacher and a student. Only this one clip. I don't have the larger clip. So this is like apparently this happened in a social studies classroom at a high school. And this was how the conversation played out. Now, in principle, I'm actually strongly in favor of facilitating a discussion between students about what's happening. Like, I think if you're a teacher in Minnesota, you'd be irresponsible to just completely gloss over it. I think what you'd want to do is facilitate a discussion between the students where you let them talk to each other, you minimally interfere, and just try to make sure they don't like get in a fight or throw each other or throw personal attacks or whatever, but like actually kind of just let them sort it out and let them practice discussing a contentious issue. Once you have enough practice discussing contentious issues, you realize nobody's going to get hurt. Of course, if this is your model for how to discuss contentious issues, then maybe somebody will get hurt. Remember, this is the person who's teaching the children. This is the person who's modeling the optimal behavior for how to discuss contentious issues. It's this is their model that they're expected to follow. Go ahead.
His move should have been to go like this. If he
Hold
was
on.
really
Hold on. We got to turn up the volume a little bit. There you go. So his goal should have been to go like that. Now, we can't really see what's going on right now. We can kind of make out what she's saying. So basically, she's making the case that the cop who shot, or the ICE agent who shot Renee Good, was in no real danger, and he could have just moved out of the way of the car or whatever. She's making this case to a male student. So go ahead.
Afraid. Your job as a police officer is to de-escalate.
A split second.
No, no.
Yes.
No.
Your job as a police officer is to de-escalate, and the student is saying he had a split second, and she's saying no, no, no. Although that is true. That is a fair response to what she said. So she's like, hey, your job as a police officer is to de-escalate, and he escalated to violence, and that's no good. And then he said, but he only had a split second to react. And so he had to choose between, maybe using too much force and too little, and he doesn't know what the consequences of that are going to be. And so in that split second, he made a tough choice. That's the response, and that's a reasonable response. Like, reasonable people can disagree about this to some degree. And there's still information that may not have come out yet. Who knows what video angles may exist that we haven't seen? Who knows what investigators or what conclusions investigators are going to draw? So this is all early. So those are both reasonable takes. Let's see if the discussion continues to be reasonable.
I'm not going to argue with you.
You're arguing right now. You're arguing.
Because watch the video. He was not in
Just because
danger.
you're yelling doesn't mean you're winning an argument. Just because you're yelling doesn't mean you're winning.
Just because you're yelling doesn't mean you're winning, which is kind of annoying. But he's right. But we shouldn't be yelling at each other about this. We shouldn't be yelling at each other about this. I hate this taunting, snotty tone that the discussions in this country have adopted. I hate this taunting, snotty, dunking tone. It reminds me of Jubilee debates, which I can't even fucking react to because their YouTube channel is so fucking litigious. Even though they're extremely useful and productive discussions to react to, because you can, that's what it is great examples of bad faith arguments. But that's the tone that all of our discussions are had in. People just scream at each other. Go ahead. What does she say?
Yeah, just because you're alive doesn't mean you are intelligent.
It sucks that she got shot, but it's a split. You have to split.
She says, just because you're alive doesn't mean you're intelligent, which is just a great thing to say to a student. You don't want to. Why are you getting into personal tit for tat with a teenager? Look, I know they're fucking annoying. I totally agree with that. I've met many teenagers. I have not enjoyed any of the interactions. I find them all to be repulsive. However, you are responsible for modeling good behavior. This could have been an opportunity to have a classroom discussion. You don't have to enforce your view as the only acceptable view. In fact, that's actually bad for education, and that's bad for critical thinking. You should be encouraging students to think critically. That's not what's happening.
Yeah.
You're just going to shut it down.
You're going to take that? She just called you stupid.
His move should have been
just not useful. By the way, that's who's teaching our the next generation of youths. This person. So I don't know, man. That's really disappointing. That's really disappointing because this is such a great time to foster discussion. And if you were a teacher now and you were fostering difficult discussions, then you could actually prepare the next generation to try to have sensible political discussions. Because right now, basically the entire adult world is having a hysterical shit fit and just screaming at each other and is completely incapable of disagreeing in a civil manner. And that's not unique to the left either. We'll go on that, and that's what's being modeled to us by our leadership. I have some CNN videos we'll get to if we get a chance. But this is just horrible, just horrible. Check this out. Okay, so this is, by the way, while we're talking about this is actually a really good lead-in. I want to show this CNN video. I don't know really who any of these people are. I've just seen the clips, but this is a really good example of the way the younger generation is participating in discussions as they kind of enter the political class. Go ahead. Boop. Oh, hold on. There we go. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who this little twit is. I know who Scott Jennings is. This is on a CNN panel about illegal immigration. Let's go ahead and listen to it.
You don't get to say the word illegals anymore.
But
I don't. The percentage.
Who are you to tell me what I can and can't? I've never met you, brother. I can say whatever I want. They're illegal aliens, and that's what the law calls them. Illegal aliens. That's what I'm going to call them.
Right. Listen, you can't say illegals anymore because ICE is directly targeting legal citizens of this country.
Okay, so I think the reason he's using that phrase is because he's launching into a rehearsed monologue, and it starts on that line. That's his first line. So I think that's what's a weird thing now that I'm seeing happen a lot, even in these like Jubilee debates, is these people do not have like the ability to speak extemporaneously. They don't have the ability to like improvise or like come up with stuff. They don't know the issues well enough to speak about them on the fly. They mostly resort to like personal attacks, and we're going to get that. I have another clip from the same show that we're going to get to. Go ahead.
How are you going to enforce your edict on me, just out of curiosity?
Listen, listen to his point about illegal.
No, I want to know why he gets to
It's
instruct
not. You're
my
changing the
speech.
topic.
Hang on.
I want to know.
You're making a point
making an
about the
emotional
people being
plea.
arrested. Go
I
ahead.
understand that your job is predicated on just getting increasingly more demented every single week, and that the audience comes back to see if perhaps
Make your point.
Wow. That's a personal, that's just like a heinous personal attack in the middle of what's supposed to be a substantive policy discussion. Go ahead.
My point is that you're saying the word illegals, but
it's in
you
federal
don't even
law.
really know what's happening. Or actually, I think you do, and
Sure,
you're
I do.
doing this on purpose. But
Yes,
the truth
because
is,
I want the law enforced.
they are not just targeting illegal immigrants.
They
They
are.
are targeting natural-born U.S. citizens.
They are not.
That is a fact. You
They are
cannot
not.
deny that. I mean, you can on national television.
They are
deny
not.
facts all the time.
They
You've
are
done it a
not.
couple times in this very episode.
I still want to know how you're going to enforce your
right,
language
for
edicts
God's
on
sakes.
me.
We'll take that up.
How are we going to enforce it?
We're going to take that up in the break. Coming.
You know, that was like needlessly contentious and accomplished like basically zero substantive policy discussion. That's what people are like seeing on TV. That's just like baseless personal attacks. Like accused him of like lying on purpose. And it's like that's what's on. This is CNN. This is supposed to be like the standard for broadcast journalism, right? And yet the debates on Timcast are more substantive than the debates you see on the quote unquote debates you see on cable news. Like that was just a shit. And by the way, that's not even the worst clip I have of this little twerp. Hold on. I have another one. I don't know who this person is, by the way. So I don't know who he is. So we're gonna find that other clip here. This is actually wait, hold on. Give me 1 second, Chad. I have to go let the dog out. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm serious. I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, but let's be.
We'll talk about it.
Oh shit. Hold on. There we go. Is my audio working? Okay, great. Fantastic. I think this is going to be this guy's first and last day on television. This clip is like fucking incredible. This is a fucking incredible thing to say on television, unsubstantiated. So let's go ahead and check this out. Check this out.
I am appreciative that the president is being transparent about this. I would love it if he was more transparent about the.
So I would appreciate it if I appreciate that the president was transparent about this, and it looks like they're talking about Greenland and his ties to the Nobel Prize and his desire to win the Nobel Prize. So I think that's what they're talking about. So that's the setup, and this is how he talks about it.
I am appreciative that the president is being transparent about this. I would love it if he was more transparent about the human sex trafficking network that he was a part of, but you can't win them all.
Cameron's grateful.
Oh, he's a Parkland school shooting survivor and co-founder of March for Our Lives. Okay, so he's like David Hogg's buddy. That's who he is. He's like David Hogg's buddy. Okay. I didn't know who this guy was before yesterday. And he just dropped that bomb about like, I wish he was more transparent about the human sex trafficking ring that he was a part of, which, by the way, that's like that's like actual malice. Right. That's like, it's really hard to defame a famous person. You have to display like a willful disregard for the truth. There's some other factors too. I haven't studied it in a while. This is a long time ago that I was in law school. And even when I was like working in the field, I wasn't like anywhere near libel cases, but it's very hard to like make a defamation case if you're a famous person. People can kind of just say whatever they want about you. But yeah, that's pretty fucking awful. It's pretty fucking awful, regardless of how you may feel about Trump's involvement with Epstein or whatever. Nobody really knows. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but like calling it a sex trafficking ring that he was most definitely a part of is... you're just opening yourself up to some pretty serious litigation there. So that's like not ideal. Let's go ahead.
That the president is being transparent about the Nobel Peace Prize and his desires for Greenland. Let's go.
He tries to move off of it, which is very smart. And then Scott Jennings, who, by the way, I don't know who Scott Jennings is. He could be a total retard in real life. I really only see him on these CNN clips. I'm starting to like him more and more. Every time I see Scott Jennings open his mouth, I know I'm going to be happy with what he says. It's just like, he's like my emotional support neocon, or whatever he is. I don't know what he is. He's some kind of like conservative punching bag on CNN. So every time this is what Scott Jennings does for a living. He sits on these panels and he lets these low IQ retarded simpletons just like spew like bullshit propaganda that will lead to the end of our species. And they're just pumping this like sewage and anti-human bile into the atmosphere so that the people will just like slop it up, and then they'll like become obese and hate their children and die by suicide, because that's CNN's goal. And Scott Jennings just sits there and listens to it and is like, you guys are dumb and wrong. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch. Someone is like hip deep in the anti-human bile trying to push back, which I love that. I love that for him. It's not enough to get me to watch CNN. And, to some degree, you could argue that he's complicit in the anti-human bile and the anti-human sewage that's being pumped into the discourse. But you know what? We're going to watch the rest of this clip anyway. Anyway, so this guy just said Trump is part of a sex trafficking ring. And he's like, fuck, man. I'm just going to move past it. Now, what does Scott Jennings do?
What do you think about that? You going to let that sit? Are we going to claim here on CNN that the president is part of a global sex trafficking ring? Or
good question, Scott Jennings. Good question, because if you are making that claim, that is most certainly actionable, and you are definitely going to get sued because Trump is extremely litigious. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, again, we're going to talk about the Epstein file. Scott, I will do the fact checking as we go along here.
Scott, please don't get us sued. It's like, please don't let me sue this network. Please don't let the president sue this network. Go ahead.
Repeat what you said about the global sex trafficking ring.
That Donald Trump was provably very involved with it.
Okay, we'll get to that later.
Okay, see, that's key. So when you're talking about crimes that people may have done but have not been convicted of, it's very important that you use words like allegedly, because otherwise what you're saying could be actionable. You know, if it's not true, strictly speaking, then it's actionable. And so that's not good. That's not good. This is like exposing CNN to some pretty serious litigation. And remember, Trump has sued people for pettier reasons. He sued Bill Maher because Bill Maher said that Trump's father was an orangutan, which is obviously not true. Now, I don't know, man. As far as Trump's involvement with Epstein, like, I don't actually know anything about that. So I'll be honest with you, I haven't really been tracking that much. So that could be totally true or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, that's probably a dumb thing to say. Go ahead.
I mean, Donald Trump has never been charged with any crimes in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. But
let's be adults here.
We'll talk about that.
Let's be serious.
Please change the subject.
Now answer the question about Greenland. Do you think
I am appreciative that the president is being transparent about?
That's crazy. He's just trying to change the subject. So this guy is like really worn out his welcome. This is what happens though if you and by the way, downstream of this is an incredible level of delusion on the part of the people. Like, by the way, so people like this is what boomers watch on television, right? This is what boomers watch and how they get their news. So if you're wondering why are boomers so psychotic all of a sudden, and why are they so politically active all of a sudden, it's because they're watching cable news, and cable news is telling them that there's a literal Nazi PDF file in the White House. And that he's sending out his shock troopers to commit racial profiling and throw people out of the country. That's what they believe is happening in the world right now. So, and young people are getting a different version of the same message, and they're getting it in the form of TikTok. So TikTok is just turning people's short video format is just turning people's brains into mush. And we've got, evidence of that. I've got, actually, let's go over this one. I do want to, this is a huge problem that's going on right now. I'll show this down. I will get to the Manosphere stuff in a second. I don't want to spend too much more time on this, because this is just how many times can we talk about how fucking retarded people are? But you got to see, people are in a bad way. People are in a bad way. So guys, try to keep your feet on the ground, because these people are, the amount of people who are talking about actually doing violence to government officials is crazy. And apparently Donald Trump is trying to get 1,500 troops on standby to go in and have control. I think a lot of people are asking why aren't you sending people in? And I think it's because of optics. I think he wants to make sure that public opinion is on his side. And obviously the church thing was bad. The church thing I thought was such a bad, and by the way, the church thing, what I'm talking about, if you watch the last show I did, Don Lemon reported on an activist group going into a church on Sunday and disrupting the services for essentially, ostensibly because something to do with ICE. I don't know if the pastor supports ICE or whatever. I don't even know what supporting ICE means in this context. It's just, hold on. Yeah. It's just not it's impossible to tell what these people are even fucking talking about. So I have no idea, but anyway, the net effect of that downstream is that there's a bunch of videos now of people running in and shouting at people who are just trying to go to church, and the people leaving and being really disappointed and hurt by it. And, these guys screaming at women and children, which is a fucking terrible look. So they're just looking scared and shit. It's not good. All right. And so optically, that looks horrible. Optically, that was so bad for the left that I saw a lot of people suggesting that was actually a psyop to condition the population to be more comfortable with a heavy-handed, military intervention to keep the peace, and that this is the lube to introduce the dildo of martial law, which I don't know. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it does. I do have a hard time believing that these protests are completely organic. I don't know how much of it is like TikTok retardation. I don't know how much of it is like deliberate organized groups. I don't know how much of it is deliberate organized groups that are creating TikTok content to make people's brains retarded. I don't know what's going on, but like, it's just, I have a hard time believing that this is like 100% organic. Like, people just love having Somali neighbors so much that they're willing to go out into the streets and get shot. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So there's something else going on here. I don't know if it's like, you know, victimhood as a currency, or like late stage wokeness, or like it's an opportunity to be part of a cause, be part of a martyr, or maybe people just feel so fucking useless in their day-to-day lives that they're just like desperate for a cause. Because going out and dying for a cause is like a very easy way to feel special. Actually, like living a life that conveys specialness on you is very difficult. It's very difficult. Most people can't be special to everyone. Most people can be special to a handful of people who really care about you. You can be special to your family. Like, my mom thinks I'm very special. You know, and there's like a handful of people who like watch this podcast, or in certain parts of Washington will pay to see me do stand-up comedy because they think I'm somewhat special. And that's really cool. Like, I'm very blessed to have that. I'm very blessed to have people actually tune in when I go live. A lot of people go live and no one watches. A lot of comedians have no one who buys tickets anywhere in the country where they go. They have no one who buys tickets except for their friends who like feel bad for them. Like, that's it. You know, I'm blessed. There are parts of the country where I can go and there will be people there who've seen me at previous shows, who bought tickets because they saw my name on the bill and they wanted to see me again. That's a huge blessing. That is, you have no idea what how that fills me with inspiration. It's like, oh, well, I got to keep refining my jokes. I got to keep writing new jokes because fucking Sharon or whoever is going to be there again. And she's heard these jokes before. So we got to get Sharon some new content. We got to get Sharon some new stuff, you know? And like the fact that people tune into my show is like a huge blessing to me. Huge blessing to me. And some of you I only know by screen names and chats. I can tell that you're all very high IQ. You're thoughtful and funny and interesting. I can tell that. But like, I don't like know you. Like, if I saw you at a 7-Eleven, I wouldn't know you unless you came up to me, which would be sick, by the way. But like, yeah, most people, like, that's, you know, I'm blessed to have what I have. You know, most people are, you can be special to a handful of people. You know, and you will never get a tremendous amount of social capital being special to a handful of people. You know, and these people, I think, because of some kind of like weird narcissism that's fueled by victim, they want to be the main character, and the way that they become the main character is becoming the biggest victim. I think that's why I keep breaking it down. I think that's why that guy who lost one of his balls to getting shot in the dick by ice or whatever, which is crazy that happened. Oh my God. Anyway, like, if that happened to me, I would not, you couldn't waterboard it out of me. I would never say it out loud ever again. I would never speak about it. You know, I certainly wouldn't brag about it on the internet, but it's like, that is like ultimate victimhood. So that's what they're bragging about, is like victimhood, and like martyrdom is like the ultimate act of victimhood, and getting shot in the balls is like, you know, like by a non-lethal, I guess, or by one of those like pepper spray paintballs or whatever. I don't know what hit him, beanbag, something. Anyway, that's like as much victimhood as you can have without dying, you know, in some sense. Like that little girl who lost an eye, you know, walking around looking like a pirate now. That's crazy. But that's like, that's victimhood as a currency. And this is what causes people to, people will make reckless sacrifices because like martyrdom and sacrifice, that's how they signal virtue. And it's hard for them to be a victim especially if you're a white person. I think that's maybe why this is capturing white women the way it is, especially if you're a white person within the woke hierarchy. It's very hard to get any currency to yourself unless you like become non-binary or become trans or, you know, become polyamorous or have a partner of a different race, although that creates other complications. Yeah, it's really hard for you to gain power as a white woman within that group unless you are, you know, signaling your virtue constantly. You know, unless you're constantly signaling virtue, or, you know, like you got to be like the most loudest, ardent, bestest, goodest ally. And I also think a lot of these women are genuinely, they're feeling a ton of internal conflict where their psyches are just dominated by guilt. I think a lot of it is like guilt motivated. I don't think it's all narcissism. It's the guilt to the point of driving them to the point of narcissism. I think it is genuine guilt motivation, is they have been brainwashed to feel tremendously guilty about the fact that their ancestors built the most prosperous, most successful civilization in the history of mankind. And in order to do that, we had to stomp on some inferior civilizations. That was the price. And then we killed everybody who was mean. And now the inferior civilizations are meaner than us because we killed all the mean people so that it was safe to live here. That's what happened. That's what the death penalty is. You're killing the people who can't live in a civilized society. You just kill them. Get rid of them. Now they're done. Now they're not coming back, and they're not passing on those genes. They're gone. So, but now we killed all the mean people, so we only got nice people here. So we need some mean people to keep the mean barbarians out. And we don't have that. But the white women, they don't understand that mean people exist because they have this like retarded, they think the world is like a giant kindergarten and everybody needs to have the same amount of fruit snacks, and they feel guilty that some people have less fruit snacks. So it's like using this like very positive aspect of women's nature, this desire for like fairness and to make sure everyone's treated well and to look out for the people that are being mistreated, like, and to this aspect of sympathy, which is like very, very positive, especially when you apply it to children. It's a very positive impulse, and it's being completely hijacked by like psychopaths who want to tear apart the family and they want to make humanity extinct. It's horrible. It's some of the most horrible shit I've ever seen. It's crazy because it's like it's making women unpalatable, like really hard to be around, and that really sucks. I used to be a big fan, kind of an enthusiast actually. I wasn't just a casual fuck boy. I was a ranked fuck boy. So I was on a generational run, and then COVID hit. You know, right in the middle of my generational run. That was tough, man. COVID years was like, let's see, 2018, 2019, I was 28, 2020, I was like 28, 29, and then 2021, I was like 29, 30. So I like took like, it was right at the peak. It was like when Michael Vick went to jail, like right at the peak of his athleticism. It was terrible. Terrible. And it's not that it completely shut down the dating market, but it just like changed everything. And then I also, had time alone and I had to reflect on my actions. And I was like, fuck, man, this is terrible. I shouldn't do this anymore. I'm making the world a worse place. And I'm glad I got out when I did, to be fair, because like the dating market now is like fucking horrible. And especially like, it's like, I don't know. It's so some of it is like, and some of it is environmental too. Like the fact that we put like absolutely almost everybody by default on hormonal birth control at the age of 15 or whatever is like almost certainly having an impact on people's mental health. We have more people on more women in particular on SSRIs. I think it's like something like over half of liberal white women are on SSRIs, I think, or on psych meds. I forget what the exact stat is. God damn it. I really need a producer on this show so we can like fact check shit like that in real time. I know it's a significant number. Google that on your own. I don't know the exact number, but it's pretty significant. So we have basically women are in a mental health crisis, and their hormones are getting fucked with, and they're getting just like pumped full of like propaganda that's like making them like they hate men and hate their nation state and hate their ancestors and side with foreigners over like their fellow countrymen, which is like such a bizarre thing to be going through. And it turns people against their families, which is the lead in. That's the reason I started talking about this, was because I wanted to get to this video. This is we've seen videos like this before, but I want to like highlight this because this is what we're talking about here. Let's get to the chat. Strider's here. What's up, Strider? Love hearing you. Love hearing from you. Friend of the show, Strider. Full Metal Nate is here. What's up, man? Love seeing you. Charlie Kirk dies and he's celebrated as a hero. We get shot and people make fun of us. Yeah, dude, because they're being retarded. Exactly. And they don't see they don't understand how retarded this looks optically. So that they don't understand like what Charlie Kirk was doing took genuine courage, and what they're doing. Like it takes a lot of courage to stand alone in front of a mob and say things to them that they're going to disagree with because they need to hear it. That takes a lot of courage. Not to make everything about me, but like I do stand-up comedy, and sometimes I take on contentious subject matter, and it really sucks when a room turns against you. It's not that fun. It's really not fun. Like dealing with it's fun to kind of use humor to navigate contentious issues. And as long as you're like good humored, you can kind of be a little bit of a stinker, but not evil. As long as you're a little bit of a stinker, but not evil, people will ride with you, even if you're saying wild shit. But once people decide you're evil, you're kind of fucked. And Charlie Kirk was regularly talking to people who thought he was like literally evil, and he had to win those people over. That takes genuine courage. And what these people are doing, where you get in a big mob of people and then you throw things and yell at law enforcement officers that you know deep in your heart are not going to hit you back. Like you could do this I'm not touching you fucking younger sibling bullshit all day long, and you know they're not going to hit you back because they have to follow rules and you kind of don't. Right? They have more rules than you to follow, and you know that they're going to respect those rules because deep down inside you believe in the rule of law, and you know they do too, which makes your whole point moot about them being Nazis. But that's what's going on. Like they actually, it's so upsetting to witness. And it takes no courage to be part of a mob. It takes zero courage. That's why so many people are capable of doing it. Standing alone in front of a group of people that you know are not going to agree with you, that's hard. That's very difficult. And doing it at the level that Charlie Kirk was doing it is a tremendous amount of pressure. I've done it at like my little baby level, and it was hard. I'm telling you, it's not easy. It's not easy. Even having, like, I've navigated a lot of contentious conversations with people who like took issue with things that I said and wanted to confront me about it, which I've dealt with that a fair amount. And it's not fun. It's like never fun. This is what it is. Never fun. So, but it's yeah, doing what these people are doing takes zero courage. Anyway, let's go ahead and do this. This woman is talking about ICE and basically how she's not going to talk to her dad anymore. That's basically the gist of it. We're gonna break it down.
Dad, I have waited around long enough for you to come to your senses and leave the cult of MAGA, but I am giving up on you. You have made your choice. You have chosen Donald Trump over a relationship with your grandson, which apparently...
This I don't understand. I don't understand like being mad at your parents because they don't agree with you on politics to the point that you will stop talking to them. I can understand getting frustrated with people not agreeing with you. And like, I don't know what it's like to have family members who don't agree politically, really. Because like my parents and I'm more conservative than my parents. I think I'm more conservative, more nationalistic than both of my parents. But I don't begrudge them for that. Like my dad is a boomer, so he doesn't understand how bad things are. Because he's kind of insulated from that. But I think he mostly gets it. Like he actually has been very receptive to me talking about it. And he's listened a lot. And he's confirmed it with other like millennial and Gen Z men that he knows in his social circle. My dad's a very curious person. So he's like, if he hears about something, he'll actually investigate it and ask questions and try to learn about it instead of like the typical, human response, truly the typical boomer, but truly the typical human response of just reflexively rejecting anything. Like if he hears about something, he'll take it seriously and actually investigate it. Not everybody is so blessed. Some people are retarded. But yeah, I don't know, but I can't imagine having like super lefty parents. That would be like, I feel like the people that I know who have lefties in the family, you just hug them and love them and hope for the best. You know what I mean?
Apparently you don't seem to mind because you have 7 other grandkids that you can fall back on.
I can't imagine.
Same as you don't feel like you're missing anything
how you voted
by losing a relationship with your daughter because you have 3 other kids that worship you. Every time I wake up in the morning and I have to be a witness to the newest atrocity at the hands of this regime, and I have to imagine what you're saying to excuse that atrocity.
You actually don't. Okay, so this argument that she's having is not with him. It's with what she imagines he thinks. You just heard her say that. She's just... You just heard her say that. She's imagining scenarios to make herself mad. Okay, that's a skill issue. Skill issue. You could just not do that. Like, guys, Marcus Aurelius, we haven't talked about Marcus Aurelius on the show in a while. Marcus Aurelius said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he said it in Latin. If you get some discipline over your thoughts and you do not let your thoughts get you riled up and you do not let your thoughts control you, because you are not your thoughts, you are the one who listens. Remember that. Your thoughts are just thoughts. They're not necessarily true. They're screaming at you, okay? And this person is letting her thoughts run away with her. And she's not sitting here saying, I am just the person who listens. This emotion is temporary. It will pass. She's not practicing stoicism. All right. She's practicing hysterical, emotional bullshit. We don't want to do that. Okay, guys? Remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the one who listens. She's letting her thoughts get her so worked up. And she's a girl, so it's not really her fault. Just bear in mind. But yeah, but that is so telling that she's like, what she's arguing with is her imagination of what he's saying right now, not necessarily what he's actually saying.
It makes me want to vomit. Every time I think about you regurgitating the lies and excuses being fed to you by Caroline Leavitt and Stephen Miller and Donald Trump and JD Vance and all the rest of them, it makes me lose what little respect that I still had for you and what little capacity I thought you still had as an intelligent, educated individual to look at the situation and see the reality for what it was. You don't have that anymore. They have broken your brain. The most frustrating part about this is that you still think that you are a nuanced individual with nuanced ideas about the world. You do realize that you raised me too, right?
Bo, this is very, Jesus Christ, this is very us. This is hard to hear somebody say about their family member. Yeah, I mean, I don't know the guy. He could be a total asshole, but I kind of doubt it. I kind of don't think so.
You do realize that I am the way that I am partly because of how you approached politics. You know this is partly your fault, right? And all the parts of you that made me who I am today.
Yeah, see, all leftist politics at base are just fuck you, dad. Remember that. I say that on the show all the time, but all leftist politics, the basis of them is just fuck you, dad. They're just like mad at their dads, or they're like mad at patriarchal authority, and they're using their dads as like a symbolic stand-in for patriarchal authority or something like that. Yeah. Let's look. Yeah. The post-Iraq Afghanistan cops are a lot like Superman. Yeah, they have to show a ton of restraint while people basically just don't like them. Yike. It's not good. Instead of telling her dad this in person, she has to post it on the internet. This is evil. Yeah, this is family. Why are we... This is another thing that is very normal right now at this moment in the culture, is just like airing out personal family bullshit on your fucking TikTok page. Like, you don't have to do that. You can just not do that. You could just like not share that with anybody. That's what you can do. She seems like a hoot at parties. Yeah, dude. Good call. All I hear is a bunch of nagging and daddy issues. That's good analysis. So remember,
are non-existent.
This is all
they
just
don't
fuck
exist
you, dad.
anymore.
You know what?
You know, the values of questioning authority and the government.
Yeah, I don't want to listen to this anymore. This is just retarded. This is what I'm saying, but that's like basically leftist politics and where it's at right now. So that's it's all just like fuck you, dad. I hate authority. I hate the fact that I have to be responsible. That's, you know, kind of where it's at. It's depressing, man, because it's a lot of people who are caught up in this. It's a lot of people who are caught up in this. And I like, look, man, I see it. A lot of it is on Facebook, where this broadcast is currently live. Shout out to my Facebook viewing audience. A lot of the people there are, you know, a lot of people in comedy are like very worked up about this. And it's like, oh, we gotta get to the streets and we gotta stop ICE. And it's like, bro, I got shit to do. Like, I'm going on the road in February. Like, I got shit to do. This is not more important than what I have to do. If you think this is more important than what you have to do on a daily basis and the obligations you have to your community and to your family, like, or to your family and in your own personal life, then you might not have enough going on. I don't know. Maybe this is like the point of, it seems like a part of the point of being leftist is getting people to cut off their families, getting people to isolate, getting people to not form relationships, to not have children, or to have fewer children, or to, you know, the fewer family ties that you have, the fewer ties you have to your community, the easier you are to brainwash and lie to, and the easier you are to push around, and the more likely you are to take radically stupid risks in terms of what course of action you're willing to take in relationship to federal agents. You know, like you're a lot more likely to do something stupid to antagonize an ICE agent if you don't have a fucking family looking out for you. You know, and there are cities like this. Like, look, I love Portland. I've been to Portland a couple. I don't love Portland. Portland's a tough place, man. I do not enjoy going there. I'll be honest with you. I like the comedians of Portland. I got to be honest. Portland's comedy community, they got some hitters out there, and I really like the people out there. But like in general, as a city, Portland is a dump, and it didn't used to be like that. It's a very beautiful city geographically, and it is kind of a place where people go, and everybody there is cut off their parents, or they're like a weird furry or whatever. Salem is kind of like this to a lesser degree, where it's just like everybody's like a weird kooky. There's a lot of people who have weird kooky gender identities, or they're in like a polycule or whatever the fuck, and they cut off their parents. And it's not everybody in the city, but a lot of people move to cities like Portland and cut off their parents and just get into like some like weird degenerate sex cult and start dressed like an anime girl in public for some reason. I don't know why what the fuck is going on here. I think it's fucking horrible. Oh, I think it's fucking horrible. Anyway, that's a lot. We're coming up on the last half hour of the show. Sponsor this half hour, Women Who Deadlift. Big fan. Sponsor this half hour also, Peach Vibe Celsius. We love Peach Vibe Celsius over here. Sponsor this half hour. This could be you. This could be your product. I could be doing a sponsorship read. I could be doing an ad read for you. Right? You're right here. So if you have a product you want to advertise on the show, please, I will sell it. I don't care what it is. Dick pills. I'll sell dick pills. I don't give a fuck. We got to monetize this shit, bro. Boys, we got to monetize this. We got to lock in 2026. We got to lock in. This is the year of monetization. Shout out to Weird Sex Cults, friend of the channel. Yeah. If I had this much time to complain like this online, I'd get fired from my job. These people don't have lives at all, apparently. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Full Metal Nate, friend of the channel. He's making a great point. People who are gainfully employed, generally speaking, do not have time to upload TikTok videos like this. It's weird because they're venting things into the internet that would be better put into like a diary, or maybe said to friends, or maybe, I don't know, to a trusted religious leader, somebody that you could like really trust. I think there is a deficit in this country of community connections, where people do not have a lot of people that they can trust with like sensitive, difficult topics. And a lot of people they feel like they could talk to about difficult issues that are really troubling them, because they're afraid if they say the wrong things to their friends, you could lose a friend like that. Like if you, like, happened to me, I pissed off a leftist because I told her like trans issues were the main reasons the Democrats lost the election in 2024, because that's the level at which most American voters interact with politics. And I was told that was transphobic. And it's like, that's a fucking fact. Like, it's not racism against Kamala Harris. It's not. It was that little Italian girl getting the shit beat out of her by that dude in the Olympics in the boxing event. Y'all remember that? People associate that with Democrats. It was the tranny jiggling her titties on the White House lawn. People saw that. They didn't like it. It was all the pride parades and the pride flags and the land acknowledgements and the all the thing, and the trans kids, all the stuff that was coming out about that. Like, all that stuff kind of added up, and to the normal American voter, just like Joe Sixpack who goes to work every day, that sounds fucking crazy. And I said that, and I lost a good friend over that. You know, that sucks, but that's like, dude, so people are scared to, like, I'm not scared to lose friends. I've done most of the shit I do. I've never played well with others. I've never been a team sports guy. You know, one of the things I like about stand-up comedy is it's 100% on me. One of the things I like about doing the live stream, this Theocracy, as opposed to my other shows, is 100% on me. I don't mind hopping in on a panel and being a part of someone else's team, but in general, I don't play well with others. So if I needed to tell everybody to fuck off and go start over, I would do that. That gives me the freedom to defend my opinions and say what I really think is true. I'm not going to pretend I agree with you just so you'll stay my friend. I won't do that. I will tell you the truth about what I think. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you think I'm a hateful bigot, that's A-okay. The trash took itself out. You know? But no, I'm not gonna compromise what I think. I will moderate my tone if you feel like what I said was hurtful to you and I care enough about you. Like I'm not gonna say things. I'm not gonna speak to my mother the way I speak to you people. Like the show is for like men who've been coarsened by years of being terminally online. This show is for like, I'm a lot edgier here than I am when I talk to other people. This is for dudes. I'm amazed any women watch this show. My audience, I think, is 3% female. Last time I tallied, it's going down, actually. The show is growing and the percentage of female audience is going down. Women do not like what I'm doing here. And by the way, that's okay because the show's not for them. I made it for you guys. I made it for you fucking weirdos. I made the kind of show that I would want to listen to during the workday, like back when I had an office job. So this is the kind of shit that I would want to put on and listen to while I was at work. So I'm hoping that you guys feel the same way. Just trying to create enough value for you. By the way, if the show is creating value for you, please share it with a friend, subscribe, like, share, all that stuff, interact, leave a comment if it makes you happy. And share it with somebody else that you think is similar who could maybe get some value out of it. Because I'm hoping the show's going to be a lot bigger by the end of the year. So it'd be really cool if it's an opportunity to get in on the ground floor. They're disgusting looking too. Yeah, that's the thing. Wokeness destroys beauty on purpose. And so it's weird because like people who conform to traditional beauty standards will like fucking destroy their appearance in the name of wokeness. But also people who don't are drawn to it. It's an ideology for losers. To justify why they're losers. And so yeah, that's really what it is. Because like it's like a funhouse mirror of Christianity. I say that a lot, but wokeness is a funhouse mirror of Christianity, where Christianity has this idea: the meek shall inherit the earth. We prioritize humility over braggadocio, which is one of the few philosophies to ever do that. That's an inversion of human nature in some sense, where we've elevated figures that are bold and audacious and bragged about themselves. Christianity flips that on its head, says actually the least among you is the most important. How you judge a society is how you treat the least among you, and so on and so on, right? Okay. So wokeness does that and is like, okay, if I'm a malignant narcissist who wants to do nothing but attract power to myself, I'm going to make myself look very weak so that under the paradigm, I look powerful because the weak are powerful. So it's actually just like a naked power grab, but they're disguising it to make it look like, oh, woe is me. I deserve compassion. Like it's literally just like power politics though. That's why it's so like insidious is it's parasitizing people's compassion to try to bring power to yourself, which is just like a heinous bullshit thing to do. Let's check in with the chat. I've been monologuing for a bit. Have you considered they have been made to believe the internet people are people they can trust? Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah, they believe. I think it's weird that so something about a face coming through a screen makes it more trustworthy. I know when people see you on TV, we see people on TV, there's an impact. They have like an air of credibility. You see people on a movie screen, it has a significant impact. And for some reason, when people are on a screen, they inherently seem more credible. Like, okay, this podcast I'm doing right now, right? I seem credible because I have a microphone and headphones and I have an HD camera and I have lighting. Now I'm talking to a microphone and I'm speaking extemporaneously. Like it looks like I really know what I'm talking about, right? Because I'm on a screen. But if I was saying all the same shit at 7-Eleven, they'd be like, sir, can you please leave? I would get thrown out. You know, I look more credible because if you put me like on a stage under light and you put a microphone in my hand, it's hard. And one of the things you notice as like a comic is like people who've known you for a long time have a hard time taking you seriously outside of that context. Like a lot of the people that I run into in comedy treat me like I'm famous, which is kind of fun. I'm not famous, but if I'm like at a comedy venue doing comedy, I get famous guy treatment, which is kind of fun and enjoyable. And I like that. But it's temporary. And then I go back to the real world. It's kind of cool. But like my friends, the people who treat me the least in the world, like I'm famous, the people in the world who treat me the least special and the least like I'm famous are the people who've known me for a long time because they know me from other contexts. People who only know me from the context of like performance treat me very differently. because it like it lends an air of credibility that like the people who've like, it's like, bro, I've seen you have diarrhea. You know, you guys have never seen me have diarrhea. That would change your view of me if I was like, that happened one time. I'm going to tell you guys a story, and then I'm going to get into the Manosphere thing, because we're running out of time on the show. This was in like 2014, 2015, right in there. It was when the Dunkin' Donuts opened in Santa Monica, and I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and there was not a Dunkin' Donuts in Santa Monica. The nearest Dunkin' Donuts at that time in Los Angeles was in Barstow, which, for those of you that don't know, Barstow is like significant drive away. It's like halfway between LA and Vegas. So it's a significant drive away. And there's a bus station in Barstow that had Dunkin' Donuts. My girlfriend at the time was like very into Dunkin' Donuts. And so we went at like 3 a.m. to go stand in line for the grand opening of Dunkin' Donuts, which is just the most like fattest, retardedest, like goy slop, goy cattle bullshit behavior that I can imagine. But anyway, that's what I was doing at that time of my life, because of this is what pussy will do to you. Kids, don't say the words goy cattle and goy slop. That's bad. That's how you get banned on YouTube. Don't say things like that. Anyway, so I'm standing in line to at 3 a.m. and down in like Santa Monica to like get into this Dunkin' Donuts, and my girlfriend's like, holy shit, I have to take a dump and it's bad. And I'm like, okay, we got to find you. We could not find any place that was open. So she just like ran and like behind dumpster, and I pulled up my car to like block off the views so that the rest of the world could not see it. This is like, so at 3 a.m, I'm like shining my like brights illuminating her as she proceeds to pull down her pants and have explosive diarrhea in front of this dumpster like a fucking raccoon. I became a man that day in a lot of ways. I was young. I was like 23 years old at that point. That was like my Vietnam moment. Like that was the beginning of the end of that relationship, probably. I mean, I like that was it changed me that way. You know, like when you see something like that, it sticks with you. By the way, she had 5 more outbursts of explosive diarrhea at 5 different points as we're waiting till like 5 a.m. for this place to open. 5 more times she had explosive diarrhea. It was horrible to witness. Truly awful. Truly awful. Like, I'm not going to describe it in detail, but it was just truly awful. Bizarre. It changed me as a man too. And I was like, but then I knew I could step up. That's the thing. You know, I'm going to step up, because if I can shepherd you through your explosive diarrhea episode, you know, I'm going to be there for you when your water breaks. I'm nothing if not dependable. People think I'm like an ain't shit fuckboy cheater. I'm not. I am like a dependable, like I'm way more of a white knight, chat, than I am like the fact that people compare me. I've been compared to Andrew Tate, and that is irritating. Speaking of, by the way, we have to talk about the Manosphere thing because we're running out of time on the show, and I don't want to go too much over 2 hours. So let's check in with the chat real quick, then we'll go over some of this like Manosphere shit, and then we'll be done. I'll be fun. Let's see. You're a lot more likely to stay at home if you got a kid to protect there. Yeah, bingo, bro. Thank you for fucking pointing that out. I just like, I don't know what's going on. What's crazy is like the amount of these women that do seem to have kids. We got to fit. That has to be studied. Why are all these moms out here? What is going on with that? That I don't understand. What is happening to their kids? Are they going to daycare? Are they just getting stuck in front of an iPad? Some of these women are bringing their kids to the protest. What the fuck is going on with that? We got to get to the bottom of that. What am I missing here? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. I would think if you had a kid, that'd be your number one priority. I can't even imagine prioritizing that. You regret going on Vagabond stream every week. I love Vagabond. Shout out Vagabond. I swear it's not hentai. Vagabond's friend of the channel. By the way, last year, this is cool. He showed me this. They give you your yearly roundup, and it says the channels that you interact with the most. My channel was one of his most interacted with. So Vagabond is like an OG fan of the show and has been on the show numerous times. And I'm also on his show. We love Vagabond. But yeah, his shit is, dude, he's into some wild shit though. It's crazy. One thing I like about the streaming space is I hang out with people that I would never hang out with in real life. Like I would never, like Vagabond lives in rural Georgia and like fucking goes to anime conventions. We would not have met in any other context. And yet he's one of the coolest dudes I know. Shout out Vagabond. Let's see what else we got. Gamer is exactly what I'm doing now. Based. I mean, I'm at work listening while loading trucks. Also, yeah, that's an accurate statement. Excellent. Okay, good. Because I make the show so people can listen to it at work. That's the whole fucking point. That's the whole reason I do it. Core audience. I've seen a few cartel violence videos. Yeah, bingo. That's exactly right. Oh, hold on. We got a bot. Cheap viewers, streamaboo.com. Remove the space. No, thank you. They'd say, Sar, could you please leave? Theo admitting he's into scat was not on my 2026 bingo card. Hey, that is not what I said. You take that back. Take that back. Last half hour of the show brought to you by moving the fuckle. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, let's get into this, man. So I'll say this. I have to talk about the Manosphere stuff. So did you guys hear about the Manosphere meetup? W's in the chat. Have you heard that? Does anybody know what this photo is referencing? Okay, so this was a thing that happened where I don't know what happened, but this is a gentleman named Clavicular. This is a gentleman named Jay Waller. This is a gentleman named Sneeko. This is a gentleman named Tristan Tate. This is Myron Gaines, Nick Fuentes, and Andrew Tate. And they all like met up and like went to the club and they live streamed it and they talked a bunch. And it was a thing that happened. And some people thought it was very awesome. Some people thought it was very cringe. They played Heil Hitler by Kanye West on the way to the club, and then they played it at a Miami nightclub. So a bunch of them are in trouble now because they played Heil Hitler at a Miami nightclub. Apparently the mayor of Miami is Jewish, and the people who own all the clubs in Miami are all Jewish. So you can't say that the Jews run everything, because then you'll get banned from everything they run. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway, so this was a lot of people were talking about this and how it looks kind of like gay and stupid. It's like, and I'm going to highlight certain aspects of it. There's the part like everybody was talking about the Heil Hitler thing. I actually thought that was like one of the least interesting moments. Most of what I noticed is that they just don't. Unfortunately, a lot of these clips include copyrighted music, so I can't show you that much. But like a lot of this stuff is just gay. Here's one. This is Jay Waller giving advice to Clavicular. Now, remember, Clavicular is a looks maxer. We're going to show more of his clips in a second. So what a looks maxing, for those of you, it's not just like maximizing your looks, which everyone should try to look their best, but it's taking it to extremes because basically good-looking people do get treated better. That's a fact. And as a young man, especially, you're basically, what I tell a lot of young guys is that your life is just going to get better when you're 28. Like, it just sucks. Like, being 20 as a dude just kind of sucks, and you kind of have to embrace it. But the only way to get people to treat you really, really well at a young age is if you're stupendously talented, stupendously wealthy, or really good looking. Other than that, you're pretty much just going to get treated like shit until you prove your value to the people around you. That's just how it is. So looks maxers, they're responding to that like, okay, I'm just going to be as good looking as possible, which is like somewhat logical, actually. We have some videos we might have time to get to with that that explain the looks maxing phenomenon. But anyway, so this guy is kind of like a vacuous right-wing influencer pretty boy. If you've read Mouse Utopia, he's one of the beautiful ones. Look up Mouse Utopia. Actually, everybody who's doing, open another tab right now, Google Mouse Utopia and go back to it. Everybody do that right now, because that's what's going on in America. So just make sure that's like, look up Mouse Utopia. You're going to be happy. Then this will make a lot more sense, because a lot of people like think that this sounds gay. And we're going to go over some of the things that he does that are very gay. But anyway, this is the advice that Jay Waller, who is an older Manosphere creator, is giving to this young man. Okay, go ahead.
I don't take bitches like women. The only dinner a woman will ever go to with me is when I'm meeting other men. But like a one-on-one dinner with a girl is a mistake.
Yeah, never go to dinner with. The only time a woman should be present is if you're around other men. Women are gross and have cooties. The important things happen when it's men hanging out with men. That's what real men do. Men associate with other men as much as possible. I am once again asking the Manosphere to stop being so fucking gay. I'm once again asking the Manosphere to stop being homoerotic.
Waste of fucking time and money.
3 hours of fucking garbage.
Let me tell you what a dinner with me and a woman looks like. Woman sits next to me, looks hot. The other men at the table respect that.
So he has a hot woman to impress other men. What else?
We talk about business, and I genuinely ignore her the whole time. I don't take bitches.
And he just genuinely ignores her while he focuses all of his attention where he really wants to focus it, focusing it on other men. I honestly cannot believe this clip has not gotten more traction. Look how, by the way, look how serious he is about this take. And Clavicular is soaking this up. He's like, oh man, this is good. I do like to focus on men. I would prefer to focus on other men. I spend all day staring at men's bodies. I love, it makes me feel funny inside. I love other men. Oh shit. Let's see. This is the gayest shit I've ever heard. Based Selena. That's right. That's correct. The fact that there's older Manosphere creators is ridiculous. Yeah, it's like, bro, at some point, get married. Like, if you're like going up, if you're knocking on the door of 40 and you're still giving dating advice, bro, you're a genetic dead end. Yeah, I mean, he may have children, he may have baby mamas or whatever, but like, I'm not taking like advice on how to plan my future from a dude with like multiple baby mamas who's telling me I need to have multiple baby mamas. You know, we'll get to that clip in a second. Yeah, and then, man, even a cigar makes that kid look gay. Yeah, he just everything. My question is, it takes you 3 hours to eat dinner. Good point. I guess if you're, yeah, that's just a long ass. That is a long ass dinner. Let's see. Oh, this is another one. This is where I think, so Sneeko, I think in this clip is a different creator named Sneeko. He's talking to Andrew Tate and Jay Waller, and he's trying to get life advice. And this is what they tell him. Let's go ahead and break this down. I'm surprised this clip also has not gotten more traction. Go ahead.
Or somewhere in Mexico, and just fucking have babies and give them like 200 pesos and just visit
I didn't like
now and
Poland
again.
too much. I stayed in Warsaw. The language barrier is too weird.
See, he's trying to have a serious conversation, right? Go ahead.
I want someone who speaks American English.
He wants a wife who speaks American English. I think that's reasonable. Go ahead.
Talk to girls.
Yeah, what are you gonna have a conversation?
We're talking about babies.
Oh, Sneeko wants to have a conversation.
You don't talk to him. You don't talk to him, bro. You don't talk to him. You don't talk to him. That's a waste of.
Admittedly a funny clip, but you can just tell Sneeko, I think in this moment had a realization like, am I surrounded by dipshits? Am I myself a dipshit? Oh my God, am I going to become a dipshit if I keep hanging out with these dipshits? Oh no. And by the way, Andrew Tate practices what he preaches on this, because he has multiple baby mamas from third world countries that he just pays for. Anyway, okay, I have two clavicular clips that I wanted to. Sneeko is a cuck who likes to watch other men fuck his girl. That's who Sneeko is. Yes. Wow, that's not fair, Nate. He's also virulently anti-Semitic. He's also that. By the way, this is just something to show. This is like, people are commenting on how diverse racism has become. Hold on, let me pull this up one more time real quick. Because you have half black British guy, Mexican, half Mexican guy, Sudanese guy, half black British guy, ethnically ambiguous guy, one white guy, one guy. And the white guy's a fucking Irishman. So it's weird how racially diverse racism has become, because I can't show the clip of them like vibing out to Heil Hitler in the van because that's copyrighted music. But it's like, you know, I think I might be able to show it on mute, but it's like, you get the idea. They're just like vibing out in the van, and then later in the club they vibe out to Heil Hitler. And yeah, dude, it's great. I will say this though, I hang out with a lot of like a very diverse friend group because I do comedy. So I know like black people, Jewish people, gays, whatever. Like, I cover the whole spectrum. And almost all of my ethnic minority friends have told me that I need to be more racist. That's one thing I've learned. They're all more racist than me, and they're all telling me, Theo, you're white. Just embrace it. Just be more racist. You should be way more racist. And I was like, it's like, you invented the word, Theo. Your people invented it. Of course you can say it. Which I have noticed that. It's just odd. It's just odd how like diverse racism has become. Because the thing about like racism is they don't care what color you are as long as you're also racist. Which is great. So very inclusive. The racism community is very inclusive. I'm not the first person to make that observation, of course. But let's see. And then we're got a couple of clavicular clips that you guys are just gonna love. Selena, these ones are for you because I can tell. Because I mean, for those of you that think that you've seen the gayest thing you've ever seen, you haven't yet. Okay, you haven't yet. Go ahead. Clavicular is going to tell us. This is the Talis video is how to get wide shoulders without working out. Let's find out how to do that.
We're about to go out. I haven't been to the gym in about 3 weeks, so hence the lack of gains. Ed's gambling in the back. But essentially what you're going to want to do, fellas, is tape this to your delts.
So he's got like a bra stuffer and he's like putting it on his shoulder. Oh Lord. Go ahead, buddy.
So you actually look like you have a little bit of size on you.
This is mega gay. If you do this, you're gay.
We don't need this guy's commentary and reaction, but yeah, dude, let's go. Isn't this guy infertile? Yeah, there's conflicting reports about that. He had said that on a stream, but there's also he recently reported on another stream that he got some girl pregnant. So I have no idea what's actually true about this guy. It's impossible to tell what's actually true. I know if you start injecting testosterone at a very young age before your body natively produces it, then you can make yourself infertile. That's why people are calling him the first male-to-male transsexual. And this is why I'm encouraging you to look up Mouse Utopia. Long story short, Mouse Utopia is an experiment where they set up the perfect living conditions for a colony of mice, and they basically stopped reproducing and tore down their society. And there were different ways in which they did this. And there were different mice that adopted different behaviors. And there were certain male mice that became very effeminate, and they just focused on grooming themselves all day, and they didn't fight, they didn't compete, and they didn't procreate. They just groomed themselves all day to look as beautiful as possible. And the researchers called them the beautiful ones. And so when I see the looks maxers, I see the beautiful ones in Mouse Utopia. That's why I bring it up. Make sure to look up there's plenty of stuff on YouTube about it if you don't want to read. But please educate yourself about Mouse Utopia. It's going to make America make a lot of sense. This is, by the way, this one, I really want to get to this. This is like maybe the most pathetic clip I've ever seen of a human being. This is the most pathetic clip I've ever covered on this show, I think. So we're going to... So this is about Clavicular explains how to get away with frauding your height when you take your shoes off. Because he's 6'2", but he still wears lifts in his shoes. So when he takes his shoes, when he gets the girl back to his place and takes his shoes off, then his lifts will no longer be in his shoes, so he'll appear shorter. Don't worry though, he has a solution to that problem. Go ahead, tell us how to do this, Clavicular, because I'm interested. I'm 5'7". That's the cutoff where women stop treating you like a person. So if it's like there's a way I can get into height maxing. This makes actual gay men look straight. Yeah, it does. Go ahead. So we're going to go over some height maxing with Clavicular. Go ahead, buddy.
The most professional lifts maxer, and I'm already pretty tall. So I like doing this shit. And this is what you do if you want to get really autistic about it. And I learned this from a buddy. So when you come home, right, and you have to take off your shoes, what you do is you have to set up what's called vantage points.
Okay, vantage points. We're tracking. Go ahead.
You would take something. I'm not gonna vantage points. So you put a vantage point here. So that way you take off the shoes, and then you rest on it, and then you set up the next vantage point right over here, and then you just make it to the bedroom. That way you're good. So
you have little step stools strategically placed about your apartment, so you can kind of floor is lava your way to the bedroom, so that she doesn't know that you've been frauding your height.
Are you trolling on the vantage point?
No, I'm being dead serious. Buddy.
Sneeko thinks he might be kidding. It's like, no, I'm dead serious.
I learned that from a buddy.
You're 6'2" doing this.
Well, yeah, bro. I mean, whatever.
Because
This you're 6'2" doing this. The correct response from Sneeko. This is, I think, another moment where Sneeko was like, "Am I hanging out with a bunch of dipshits? Like, is this like a good? I don't think I should be doing this. I don't think this is actually like a valuable, good use of my time." Yeah. Let's see. This makes my skin crawl the same way plastic surgery does. Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. Let's see. What else do I? So anyway, about the looks maxing thing. By the way, and also Andrew Tate apologized on a podcast for the playing Heil Hitler at the nightclub, which I don't really want to get into, but that's like fucking retarded. That was such like a normal thing. I just don't think he wants to go to jail again. And I think he's a little bit worried about going to jail for no reason. And that's like a stupid reason to go to jail over. And he thinks that might put his, I don't blame him for, I don't think that would hurt him that much in America, but like but who knows? Anyway, I think, I don't really want to go over that. Let's go over this looks maxing thing again. I saw this video about looks max. This is another looks maxer named Hexamlight. He's not as well known as Clavicular, but he makes an interesting point here. He wasn't at this meetup. He's like not nearly as popular. He's not nearly as well known. But he makes an interesting point that I wanted to highlight.
This, it just does not apply.
Let's see what he has to say.
Black pill has actually finally risen to prominence is because we have realized that we can never ask people that are older than us actually for true advice anymore. Anytime you ask a guy even over the age of 30 for advice, it's just non-transmittable and outdated for the modern world / market that we're living in. Even when it comes to financial advice, for the most part, work a job, do all this, it just does not apply and will not translate. So finally, for once, actually, which is kind of a great thing, Generation Z has actually solved its own issues and found its own philosophical framework.
Yeah, that's actually okay. So that's the point. The advice that Gen Z has been getting for the most part has been like retarded and useless and doesn't bear any actual relationship to the lived experience that they are experiencing. Hold on. A bunch of dogs just broke into my room. I need to go close my door. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay. So that's the point, I think, is that for a lot of these guys, this is the absence of male role models has created this vacuum where retarded, short-sighted advice like take steroids when you're 14 can seep in. And they're actually correct. And like this guy's birth year, 2002. So that would make him 24. Okay. So they're kind of right that below a certain age, if you're not super talented, you're not super wealthy, the only way you can get people to treat you like a person, especially in today's day and age, especially with dating apps and Instagram and the primacy of social media and stuff like that, as a man, one of the few ways you can get treated well or get any kind of meaningful respect from other humans is to be really fucking good looking. That's actually like a rational calculation is like, that's one of the few ways you can do it. Cause like, if you're really, it's not irrational. It's just very short-sighted because you're going to create all these long-term health complications by doing all that. Like, cause it's not all like, padding, shoulder pads and lifts and shoes. It's also like steroids. It's also meth. It's also, like invasive plastic surgery. There's a lot of things that go into it, depending on like how far you want to take it. And none of it is like a healthy or sustainable or good, but it's like very short-term thing. It's a way to get a significant advantage immediately that you will pay for on the back end. So it's a combination of like impulsive youthfulness and also looking ahead at future generations. Like millennials are completely crushed. Boomers, the financial advice and the dating advice that worked for boomers is not going to work for Gen Z. The financial advice, the millennials are, childless, debt slaves and genetic dead ends and largely unmarried and hopeless. So it's like, we don't have a lot to offer to the next, like they're looking ahead and they're like, okay, well, I don't want to end up like you. Boomers, what they're the circumstances where they were dating and they were existing are completely different. So their advice is basically not applicable. Right. And by the way, if you're a young dude who's single and you've gotten dating advice from somebody who's been married for 15 years, how applicable was that advice for you? How applicable has the advice you've received, you know, from older generations, how much has it applied to your actual situation? You know, how much, like what they say about women, a lot of times their map of reality doesn't map onto what you guys are out there facing today. It doesn't. That's a fact. Like the financial advice, like that Dave Ramsey financial advice of like save your money and you'll eventually become prosperous and retire a millionaire, that really does not exist for Gen Z. Like being able to like that regular, like go to college, get a stable job, earn a good income, pay off your student loans, buy a home, pay off your mortgage, retire comfortably, all that stuff. That economic pathway does not exist anymore. So people giving you that advice don't know what they're talking about. That whole like meet a nice girl at church or whatever, or just go up and talk to her. The worst she can say is no. Where normal guys and normal girls are getting together, like that has been, the dating market's been completely shattered and stratified in a way that old people have yet to grapple with. So yeah, so the advice they're getting from older generations is essentially useless because the world is so full of novelty, has changed so fast, has moved on so quickly that the only people who are remotely in touch with it are younger millennials. And they look at it, younger millennials, it's like, oh, you guys are all broke debt slaves. You guys don't have lives that I would admire. So I'm going to try doing what I know is going to work, which is being really fucking ridiculously good looking. And I'm going to do whatever I can to make that happen. Like that's a logical calculation based on what they're seeing. But this is really like a lack of leadership and a lack of mentorship. And you listen to like the retarded shit, like the 40+ like the elder millennial Manosphere guys are passing on. It's like, well, that's obviously retarded and not going to work. And don't get me wrong, I've taken some heat for saying that I think Andrew Tate is like a net positive for society. If you factor in all the negative and all the positive, I think he's a net force for good. But there's a lot of baggage that comes with that. And I think his advice on, just have multiple baby mamas and a bunch of money is like fucking retarded and useless. It's basically useless advice. Like for most people, that's like just not workable. And even if it is workable, it's deeply immoral. So, but like go to the gym is a good idea. And, trying to have mastery of your thoughts is a good idea. Trying to have like mastery, pursuing personal mastery is a good goal, but you also need to have like mastery of your virtues and mastery of your sexuality. And you should be careful with the things that you say so that, you express precisely what you mean. And you're not like needlessly, I think that you could do a lot of harm by being like needlessly confrontational in the things that you say. Especially if you have a lot of people who are listening to you. You have an obligation to use your voice responsibly and to cultivate some kind of like virtue and morality in yourself if you're going to have a platform. And I think if you're just like mindlessly pursuing like vacuous narcissism and attention, that's like a bad thing. But in a highly narcissistic, looks focused culture where Instagram and dating apps and TikTok reign supreme, is it illogical to say that it's highly advantageous to become good looking? Is that wrong? No. So their advice is logical, but I think there's something deeply unsettling, especially for women, about a man who is this obsessed with his appearance. Like that immediate halo effect. It's like, yeah, people are going to treat you better, but how do you think they're going to react when they find out you're wearing lifts in your shoes and you're fucking stuffing your shoulder pads and you're wearing makeup and you're doing meth and all this stuff, you're doing steroids, all this stuff. Like the opinion of you just like falls off a fucking cliff. When you feel like that, like if there's something that feels innately immoral about men obsessing with their appearances, this much, especially men who have no families and no aspiration to create families like that. Like I don't object. I think everyone should try to look their best. However, looks maxing makes looking good an end in itself. Then the whole point of looking good is so that you can become a contributing citizen in society, and presenting yourself in that way is to become a part of a citizen in society who garners a certain amount of respect and maybe has a family, is a contributing member of your community and is active in your community. Like that's the whole point of doing it. Making it an end in itself is like deeply, deeply narcissistic and a sign of the evilness of the times, but not illogical. It's not illogical. And that's what I do want to drive home about these guys who are doing this, is that they're doing it strategically. And it's not even like a bad strategy. Like, obviously this guy, Hexamlight, I don't know how many like Instagram followers he has, but let's check. Yeah, 10K. So not a huge amount, but he's growing fast. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Boop. Yeah, there we go. Let's do what this is like. This one's a wild take. I actually want to boop. Let's see. Share this tab instead. Yeah. This is one I want to draw attention to real quick. This is another video that he made, and it said, if I could go back in time, I would never have approached girls as a sub-5 and traumatized myself. So for the uninitiated, a sub-5 is someone who's below a 5 out of 10 on the look scale. And that's apparently an old picture of what he used to look like. Anyway, we're going to refresh this so it starts at the beginning. And then, boop, let's see what he has to say.
I would not have approached girls when I was conventionally unattractive, right? The damage, the trauma that I experienced through the hard, cold rejections. I'm talking kick this guy out, he is being creepy type of rejections that I experienced during that time, they have damaged my brain. And anybody that says, it doesn't matter, I don't think they've ever experienced that, or they're telling the full picture, okay? Things that I would say now, like, hey, where are you from? How are you? You know what I mean? Wow, like the keys to my heart, where are they? These things, right, that are perfectly fine. And with me saying now, were literally like weird back then. It was treated as weird, and that damaged the way I perceive how I speak to others. So,
right. Well, that's part of it. That's just part of the growth process. Like, I don't know, like, where we got this idea. Like, learning how to talk to women is always supposed to be like awkward and uncomfortable and shitty. And the process of overcoming that helps you to grow as a person. Like it is, and you do, when you first start to do it, it doesn't go well. And then you keep trying and trying and trying and trying, and eventually you figure it out. And that process of continuing to try is actually part of your personal development. Let's check in with the chat real quick. I'm 6'3", and I've never had to do this because I'm not an insecure little boy. Yes. Also, shout out. Also, ladies, Strider is 6'3". Make sure to send him a DM. He is single and Christian and employed and 6'3". Just saying. All right. These guys probably don't want to go to a Middle Eastern country for fear of being thrown off a rooftop. Good point, Rogish Nerd. The self-esteem must be rock bottom and looks backstairs. Bingo. This is 100% body dysmorphia. This is a mental illness. This is like an unhealthy manifestation of neuroticism.
If I could just go back in time, I would just focus on getting better looking.
Again, yeah.
And then focus on building my social base from a clean slate, not from a damaged slate like I am now. If I could go back.
You are supposed to, it is supposed to be kind of traumatizing when you talk to a woman, it goes badly. That's just like part of it, though. That's just like part of being a person and developing. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, it is just part of it. It sucks. And I'm sorry to say this, like guys who are like, what if I talk to a woman? It's embarrassing. It will be, especially now. It's going to be excruciating. It's going to be horrible. And she will probably say horrible things to your face. And then she'll probably say horrible things behind your back. Then she'll write horrible things about you in the group chat. And she might even say horrible things about you on TikTok. She might even tag you in it. But having a good wife is still worth doing it. That's the thing. Like, it is going to be horrible. I'm not even going to shit on you. I'm not even going to front. It is going to be horrible. And I know I'm still single technically. So my search process is a little different. I'm a little more refined, and also like I was still active when cold approach was legal. So back when like dating was the Wild West and people were kind of split between cold approach and dating apps, and like not everybody was using dating apps. Like I was kind of like hitting the clubs in Southern California at that time. So, I did it. I cut my teeth out there. And so now my search process is a little more refined now. I do think cold approach is a terrible fucking idea. I really do. I think I actually, don't 100% disagree with this guy in the sense that I think improving your appearance is a good idea. And that means going to the gym and like taking some, like just not looking like total dog shit. You know, I don't think you have to like wear makeup and like do meth or whatever, but like it wouldn't hurt to pick up a dumbbell every now and then. You know, doing your best for your appearance is good advice to a point, but you should not do that so much that you neglect building other skills. It's way more important to build useful skills than it is to be hot. Especially if you're going to be the kind of hot that requires you to wear makeup and have lifts in your shoes. It's actually way, 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 way more important to build useful skills. There's nobody with useful skills that has zero bitches. I would keep that in mind. There's no guys with useful skills who have zero bitches. You may not be happy with the bitches you have, but you're not going to have zero bitches if you have useful skills, because there's so many men who've just completely given up and have just completely walked away from the table and have given up on even trying to make themselves useful. If you have useful skills, you're not going to have zero bitches. And if you don't like the bitches you have, guess what? You got useful skills. If you get no bitches, if you're the first guy in the history of mankind to have a useful skill or a series of useful skills and no bitches, then hey, man, you got useful skills at least. You got something to show for it. Whereas looks maxing, all of our appearances are going to decay over time. I mean, it's like health maxing is great, but like try to be healthy and you'll be pretty hot. If you optimize for like health and mobility over time, you'll be pretty hot too. But then, you know, you'll have better outcomes. Yeah, don't like going for the superficial short-term solution is just not going to work. It's rational to a degree, but if you have a long-term vision, that's not, you got to think, is this going to help me attract short-term sexual partners or validation from strangers, or is this going to help me attract a long-term partner who's going to be good for me? You know, oh, reporting from the chat, one of the married guys looking in. Having a good wife is 100% worth it. However, I got unimaginably lucky and have never had to deal with the dating scene. Yeah, that's a huge blessing for a lot of people. A lot of people who got married early and did it right ended up having things work out has been a huge blessing to stay out of it. Look, guys, I'm not even going to bullshit you. It is fucking horrible out there, and I'm not going to pretend like it's not. It is absolutely awful, but it's still worth it to have a good woman. And there are good women, but it's just like, I'm telling you, they're not at bars and they're not on dating apps. You got to just, if you don't know what else to do, cultivate useful skills, level up in your career, and get really good at talking to people. You can talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. You can start practicing grandmas and just get in the habit of talking to people, especially at the places you go a lot. If there's a Starbucks you go to every day, so you should have somewhere you go to every day where there's people you have to talk to, whether it's like let's say you're a blue collar guy and you stop at 7-Eleven to get to the gas station. You should try to say hello to the cashier, whether it's a man or a woman. Just get practice. Talking to strangers is a skill that's like dying. And that is like maybe one of the most important things to be able to do. All of the cool networking opportunities in your life are currently in the hands of people who don't know you yet. Okay. Like that is going to require you to meet strangers. Okay. The girl that you're going to marry, maybe have kids with, you don't know her yet. So she's a stranger. You got to fix that. Y'all got to meet each other. Okay. So you got to get good at talking to strangers so that when you do get a chance to meet somebody who's important, who maybe has a career opportunity for you, or maybe is a hot lady that you'd like to see again, so you don't shit your pants because you actually have practice talking to strangers. You know, and you talk to anybody and they may be not receptive to it. 90% of the people, especially if you just like talk about the weather or something, like you don't even have to be like, hey, nice tits or whatever, but just like, you know, just like get in the habit of like making simple conversations with strangers. And then pretty soon you'll be surprised, and then like work on having useful skills. And then pretty soon you'll be surprised at how well things are going for you. I really do. And it's going to be absolutely soul crushing. And we live in a cyberpunk dystopia, and women are being programmed to hate you, and women are being programmed to sabotage their own fertility because we are essentially ideologically being ruled and oppressed by an anti-human death cult and a Satan worshiping Gnostic pseudo religion. I totally agree with all of that. Women are being programmed to hate men. A lot of them are excruciating to interact with. They're obnoxious. They're fatter than they used to be. They're rude. I totally agree with that. But there's still, it's still like having a good one is so worth it that you should just like wade through that. And besides, like, nobody like told you that you have to talk to the obnoxious ones. Like if you find like when I find a woman obnoxious now, I used to just talk to them for fun, but now I'm like, oh, you seem great. You take care. God bless. And then I walk away. So I do. I don't even yell at them. I don't dunk on them. Oh, I don't own them with facts and logic or whatever. Because like, who cares? Life's short. The reason she's acting like that is because she's hurt from her own shit. It doesn't have anything to do with me. It could have something to do with something I said. I do get in trouble for things that I say kind of a lot, but 90% of the time it's about her, not about you. So if a girl's really giving you a hard time and she's just being obnoxious, walk away because she ain't the one. She ain't the one. There are good ones though that want to, especially if you have useful skills, especially if you're doing something interesting with your life, whatever that is. There are women who are going to look at that and be like, wow, cool. I want to know more. I respect what you're doing and I want to help. I think you're cool, whatever, you know? And it's probably not going to be like, you know, but she's going to, I think she's going to be a real life woman. She's not going to be like a woman on the screen. So it's going to come with challenges. You're going to have to learn interpersonal skills. You're going to have to learn how to talk about things that are bothering you. And you're going to have to learn how to hear things that are bothering her without freaking out. And you're going to have to like all this stuff that we used to like do that makes people a better person. Like men become better people by living in proximity to women, and women become better people by living in proximity to men. That's why we pair people up. That's why in stable, successful societies, they practice monogamous pairing and they really discourage divorce. They keep people together and they try to raise children within stable family units. The reason that's considered the ideal is because that's best for outcomes, not just for the society, keeping the society stable, but also the people who are involved in those pairings are becoming better people because you have to deal with her. Like you have to be so much more patient because 90% of her stories are meandering and they don't make sense. And she's talking about people you don't know and will never know. And you're never going to learn. And she's sure that you know who she's talking about. You don't know what she's talking about, but she doesn't really need you to know every detail. She just needs you to sit there patiently and be like, okay, wow, good for you. That's what she needs from you. She doesn't need a lot. She doesn't need you to try to understand it. She doesn't need you to fix it. She just needs to say it out loud in front of another person. That's it. And she needs somebody to tell her that when she's upset that the world's not really falling down, because it feels subjectively like it is falling down to her. And if you could like figure that out, like you're going to be like, dude, if you have useful skills, go to the gym a little bit, don't eat fucking poisonous food. Don't eat slop, get rid of the porn, stop following whores on Instagram, then you're putting yourself in like the top 20 or 30% of men just right there. Because like most guys are doing all that shit to some degree. They're eating garbage food. They're not going to the gym. They're not cultivating useful skills. They're, jerking off all day. They're following whores on Instagram. They're doing all that stuff that like makes women like respect them less. It makes their pheromones less palatable. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not doing those things, you're going to set yourself above. And the looks maxing thing, you'll see what happens. Clavicular is going to turn himself into some kind of like hideous, grotesque Frankenstein's monster with all of these surgeries. That's what's going to happen. Same thing that happened to Madonna is going to happen to him. It's just the way it is. You endlessly pursue vanity. You get blessed with the beauty and the admiration on the front end, and you pay for it in old age. That's what happens. The devil always takes his cut. The devil always takes his cut. Remember that. Sorry. And unfortunately, the way you walk with God is you pay for it on the front end and you get your reward on the back end. Sorry. That's how it is. There's no shortcuts. Sorry to tell you. And listen, I'll let you know how it works out. Because look, I'm sitting here single. Don't take it from me. Take it from like married guys. But I'm sitting here like single. So it's not like I'm really like I don't have the answer for you. I'm telling you what I'm doing. And it's working pretty good. I will tell you, like, stand-up comedy is great for getting people's attention. And a lot of people want to be a part of it. And a lot of people want to help out. So, I mean, that's cool. So it's like, it's very easy for me to meet women now. But like, if I didn't have that as like a vehicle, if I didn't have like a decent like online presence as a vehicle or whatever, like it would be very challenging. So to not use dating apps and stuff like that. So let's say I'm not doing dating apps, not doing bars, just pretty much just like meet people through comedy. And that's like, that works for me. I don't know how to fucking translate that out to you. Cause I really do think cold approach is cooked. I really do. So I think just like building yourself up is going to be your best bet. I really do. Cause like that is going to benefit you no matter what. And practicing talking to strangers, leveling up your social skills. That's part of that, self-mastery. And read books. That's the other thing. I have a bitch of a time getting like people, especially younger people, convincing them that like reading books is like a worthwhile pursuit is so fucking irritating. It's so difficult because like, it's not just the short video format that has cooked their brains, but like schooling has convinced them that like reading books is like fake and gay. And that the purpose of reading books is to participate in rote memorization. That's not true at all. Like you're supposed to engage critically with the material. You're supposed to read hard things because it's hard and it makes your brain hurt. It challenges you. That's the goal. Let's see. Anyway, Eat healthy, move a lot, restrict drinking, quit smoking. Can't lose doing that. Example, my dad, who is still killing it, pushing 70. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You have to think about the long term, man. Just tell myself, give it to God, don't worry about it. Ever since I started doing that, a lot more opportunities has come my way socially. Absolutely. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I encourage people to be religious here, of course. I try not to say that too much because I do have my atheist viewers, but I do encourage people to develop a religious practice, because especially when everything, there's a lot of things right now that feel completely outside of our control. One of the problem with leftists is they focus on, they want to control things that are outside of their control. They have an externalized locus of control. My mood is bad because of all these things that I have no control over that are happening. And that's just a recipe for insanity. You got to focus on the things you can control. That's what's going to be better for you. And try to make everything you can control the best you can, and just like let go of the stuff that's not about you. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, folks, we're going to wrap this up. We've been going for about 2.5 hours. This has been a really great broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to be going on the road in February. So I'm going to be at Mad Dogs Brewing Company on January 24th. So you can catch me there. I'm going to be in Medford, Oregon on February 7th and 8th. Is that the 7th and 8th? Hold on. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, in Medford, Oregon, the weekend of the 7th. And then I'm going to be in, 6th and 7th. I'll be in Medford, Oregon at Chadwick's Comedy Club down there. I'm going to be at on Valentine's Day weekend, the 13th to 14th. I'm going to be at Joker's Comedy Club in Richland, Washington. I've got a bunch of other stops in between that I'm going to be posting on my social media. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, the whole month of February, I'm going to be doing a bunch of different stops all around the Northwest. So if I'm going to be coming to a place near you, make sure to follow my social media so you can keep track of that. I'm going live 11 a.m. Pacific time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday is going to be Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. This is Theocracy. It's my solo show. Touch Grass is my well, I'm kind of turning it into kind of like an interview show. This week, I got a very special guest for you guys. She just said yes. I'm very excited. She calls herself the Rational Female. She's like an anti-feminist content creator from the UK. So I'm very interested to talk to her. She's got a lot of like very, very fucking based YouTube content that she's been putting out, and she's got some traction. She's got a couple of videos that have gotten significant pop and significant reach, and she agreed to sit down and talk to me. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited. We love anti-feminist women, friend of the channel. We love having them. So that'll be good. I know that my episodes where I do one-on-one sit downs are controversial with the audience, but this one, I think you guys will actually like her. She seems like a sweetheart. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. So make sure to check that out. That's going to be this Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. I am live. I'll be also live again Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific. I'll be right back here. Make sure to check that out. Also, Ironcast is happening. There's probably going to be an episode of Ironcast tonight at 7:30. So tune into that on my good pal Iron Oxide's channel. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Please enjoy the intro to my other show as the outro to this show. Thank you very much.
Look good. This Johnson crack for the foot. Well, look at my crack. No. Look at that crack.
Are we looking at Ars's cat now?
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear a damn thing you said.
All right.
And because I was a gazillionaire and I like doing it so much, I cut that price for free.
Species is dying. The birth rate is plummeting. Women are chopped. But yeah, you know what? Get a fucking cat.